3.5 games behind the Milwaukee Brewers. Cubs and Giants. Again, Barry Bonds not in the starting lineup tonight, just moments away, though. 7 Eastern from Wrigley Field. You can see it here on ESPN. Thanks for watching SportsCenter, everybody. I'm Brian Kenny. Before we go, just Marlins suspended left-hander Scott Olson for 2 games because of insubordination. Eric Wedge of the Indians has a new 3-year contract extension. That's through 2010. And once again, you've got the Giants and the Cubs up next. 2 good young pitchers as well, Tim Lincecum and Rich Hill. Thanks for watching SportsCenter, everybody. I'm Brian Kenny. Enjoy the game.
If Barry Bonds takes a step closer to history tonight, it'll come as a reserve as he and the Giants invade Chicago to take on Alfonso Soriano and the Cubs. Coming up next on ESPN. It is sports' greatest individual record. Babe Ruth held it for 53 years. Hank Aaron has owned it for the last 33. But baseball will soon have a new all-time home run champ. Barry Bonds sits at 751, just 5 home runs swing shy of uncharted territory. Tonight, Bonds and the Giants take on a resurgent Cubs team that has fought its way back into the race in the National League Central. The Giants and Cubs square off next. Tonight from historic Wrigley Field on the north side of Chicago, it's Monday Night Baseball presented by Holiday Inn. And here come the Cubs. They have baseball's best record since June 3rd and roll into this series against the Giants just 3.5 behind Milwaukee. The Brewers have to be nervously checking that rearview mirror as the Cubs have begun to look like a playoff team in July. No Bonds tonight. He's coming off a horrific series against the Dodgers and is 0 for his last 20, although he is available to hit. Welcome to Wrigley, everybody. I'm Dave O'Brien. Delighted to have you with us alongside the mayor of Chicago, Mr. Rick Sutcliffe. Erin Andrews joining us in just a moment. Well, no Barry Bonds tonight for the Giants, but they do have Tim Lincecum, one of the true rising stars in Major League Baseball today.
He certainly is, and that right shoulder of his is a pretty good one to rely on. 97 miles an hour for the fastball, but it was his curveball in the Cub clubhouse before the game they were all talking about we need to avoid. In the past, Barry Bonds was the guy to carry the team, but now it's a 23-year-old just out of the University of Washington that they call Tim Lincecum the franchise.
All right, the franchise tonight, the first man he will face has the ability to make it 1-0 in a heartbeat. That is the all-star Alfonso Soriano, who comes in with 16 home runs.
Well, he also hit one in that all-star game. These Chicago Cubs last year lost 96 games. In April, they were 10-14. Soriano did not hit a homer in that month. In fact, they only had 2 from their whole outfield. But after a slow start, he's heating up just like this team is. He hit 46 home runs a year ago, and OB, he's off to another great offensive season for the Cubs.
So it's Soriano and the Cubs taking on the Bondsless Giants, at least at the outset, from Wrigley Field here in Chicago, and simply put, one of the great places from which to witness a sporting event. It remains one of the great venues in the history of baseball. One of the best pitchers in the game will try to stop the surging Cubs, and it's Rich Hill going for Chicago coming up next on Monday Night Baseball.
All right, sir, here are your pillows.
I ordered you all pillows.
Seriously?
They have a pillow menu here. I thought I'd treat you guys. There's the U-shape. We got firm. We got down. All right. Enjoy your pillows.
Okay.
Thanks. Enjoy them.
Is that what you had in mind?
Just enjoy them.
I'm enjoying them.
I'm getting that sound in my head again every time you argue with me. Just enjoy them.
Introducing Accelerate with protein. Proven to increase endurance up to 29% over your old sports drink. So while others fade, you can stay strong. Don't fade. Accelerate. There's a time
time for us to let go. There's a time for holding on. There's a time all my
life. First game, age 2. Tears shed, too many. Player you wish you were, 27. Trades you wish they made, hundreds. The chance to become more than a fan, priceless. You could win a week with your MLB team. Use your MasterCard or go to priceless.com.
Want a big eat for a tiny price? That's huge. Tackle your hunger with the Pizza Hut Pizzone. Over 1 pound of cheese and toppings for just $5.99 or 2 for $10.99. Get way more. Get America's favorite pizza, Pizza Hut, now online.
Don't act, don't assume, don't presume, don't fake. Just be yourself. You know how to do that, don't you?
New RGX body spray from Right Guard. Crisp, clean scents that don't overpower.
Are you ready to step up?
Own the DVD that will turn your curiosity into an obsession.
The number, I'm seeing it everywhere. What's happening to me?
Unrated and unforgettable. Jim Carrey. The number 23. Only July 24th on Infinifilm DVD.
Steroids can really damage your body. They can cause tendons to tear and bones to stop growing, damage kidneys, destroy the liver, even cause heart attacks and strokes. Not to mention something else they can do to a guy's body. Find out more about the dangers of using steroids. Visit drugfree.org.
ESPN Monday Night Baseball is presented by Holiday Inn. Holiday Inn, look again. And in part by Accelerate. Don't fade, accelerate. And Jeep. With 7 Jeep vehicles, there's one for you.
This ESPN production is available on ESPN HD, presented by Sharp Aquos. The friendly confines of Wrigley Field, and the Cubs are home and coming on strong as they invite the San Francisco Giants in. The Cubs have gained 5 games on the Brewers in the last 3 weeks to pull within 3.5 of the first place team in the Central. For Bruce Bochy and the Giants, it's been a totally different story, however. His ball club has taken up residence in the basement of the National League West, and particularly with Bonds scuffling so badly, and of course out of the lineup tonight, they are not in a very good place. Here's a look at the Giant lineup now. It's brought to you by Hewlett-Packard. Randy Wynn will be hitting out of the 3 spot tonight. Ray Durham 4th. Not a stocked lineup. Benji Molina, though, awfully good, Rick, with runners in scoring position and 2 out.
Well, he's good with runners in scoring position, period, hitting over 320 in those situations. You can see with 2 outs, the oldest of the 3 Molina brothers, and of course, all 3 of them possessing World Series rings.
Rich O'Reilly at first base, Pedro Feliz at third, and Lincecum the pitcher and the number 9 hitter. Well, no Barry Bonds tonight as we bring in Erin Andrews, and a lot of fans, I'm sure, coming to Wrigley here on the north side tonight. Erin, we're searching for some souvenirs courtesy of Mr. Bonds.
Not here on Sheffield Avenue. News travels very, very quick out here, OB. With Barry Bonds not in the lineup, you haven't seen many fans with gloves tonight. I was told by security if Bonds were starting, this street would be packed. Everybody looking to snag one of his home run balls. Now, why is Barry not starting tonight? Originally, he was penciled in, but he told manager Bruce Bochy, I'm sore. There was swelling in his ankles and his knees. He is available to pinch hit tonight. So you may see some stragglers out here try to grab one of Barry's home run balls. You never know.
I don't know. Do you count as a straggler? I guess that's...
I am definitely not a straggler.
All right. I would second that. Well, a very unique place to watch the ball game. And Rick Sutcliffe, when you pitched here so successfully over the years, on days when you didn't get a chance to pitch, when it wasn't your day, do you ever wander around out there and take a look around, maybe walk Sheffield and Waveland and shake some hands? I mean, you remain extremely popular here.
Well, you know, I'll tell you what, to me it was always so much more than just a baseball game. It was more like an event. There's really no parking anywhere. You find yourself in the neighborhood. You have lunch on the way to the ballpark. You might have refreshment somewhere along the line. And, you know, you're going to run into eventually 40,000 of your best friends. It truly is the friendly confines and more than just a baseball game.
It remains a great place to see a ball game, and particularly when the Cubs are mixing up some interest and excitement in the city, as they certainly are now. From any vantage point looking into Wrigley Field, they're seeing a team in contention to win a flag here in 2007. Of course, for the Cubs, it's been so long since they even appeared in a World Series, all the way back to 1945. The Cubs taking the diamond behind the left-hander Rich Hill. He's 5-6. At one point, though, through his first 6 starts, Rick, he was 4-1 with a 1.73 ERA. His last 11 starts, he's gone backward, 2-5, an ERA of 5.20. What's going on?
Well, and I asked Lou Piniella about that, and he said he's just a 27-year-old in his first full year at the big league level. Lou said we need to freshen his arm up a little bit. So what did they do? It's been 12 days since his last start. Look for his best velocity tonight.
He has allowed 18 home runs, but as Aaron pointed out, there's no one out there to catch them anyway. Defensively now for the Chicago Cubs, some guys who can catch the ball pretty well. They're a solid defensive team, 5th in the National League, and none better than Derek Lee with 2 Gold Gloves at first base.
I tell you what, they missed his presence in so many ways a year ago, not only in the clubhouse and the lineup, but more importantly right there at first, where he won a Gold Glove for these Cubs just a year ago.
Dave Roberts about to dig in. Barry Bonds not in the lineup tonight. We'll get to more on that in just a moment. But boy, he didn't want to talk about it very long after his 0 for 20 and did not get a hit the entire weekend against the Dodgers, who went into San Francisco and swept them. They've now won 11 straight in San Francisco.
Well, and there was also an 0 for 2 in that All-Star game leading up to that 0 for 20.
So it's even worse, right? Roberts hitting .243 as he gets ready to dig in. One of the few recent bright spots for the Giants. He sits safely in 9 in a row. He had 3 yesterday against the LA Dodgers. And the first pitch from Hill is in there for a strike. We're underway.
Dave Roberts was in the clubhouse about 2 o'clock this afternoon, saw that original lineup and was not in it. He was not playing tonight against the tough left-hander on the mound.
Roberts always a threat to steal should he get on. He's quickly behind 0-2. He was on the disabled list for quite a long time because of elbow surgery earlier this season. Still very productive at 35. But Roberts, Klesko, Bonds, Vizquel, Aurelia, all older players on a Giant roster that has to start getting younger. He's going to take a seat right here as Hill strikes him out looking. 1 man gone for San Francisco. Back to Barry Bonds, and that you have to say a very disappointed Barry Bonds. His comments after yesterday's loss to the LA Dodgers. Listen to this.
You point to anything?
Yeah, it's an embarrassment to me wearing this uniform because of the way I'm playing there. That's it. Now go away. I'm embarrassed to have this uniform on the way I'm performing. I'm getting out of here.
And that was that.
Well, he was 0 for 5. He committed an error in the field.
Vizquel pops this one up on the infield. Here comes Derek Lee. Here comes Ramirez, and the third baseman makes the catch on the hill. 2 up and 2 down.
You know, I was around there in San Francisco during all of the All-Star festivities. Bruce Bochy was named a coach on Tony La Russa's National League team, and you know, there was a lot going on for Barry Bonds. He had his own party. He was there late Monday night, actually into Tuesday morning. He came out early. You had the workout day. All of that stuff led to a lot of fatigue. And, you know, he used to be able to play through all of that. At 42, almost 43 years of age, OB, he can't do it anymore.
That'll be 43 in just a little more than a week. Here's Randy Wynn, the right fielder. So he hits out of the 3 spot, hitting .286. with 6 homers and 31 runs batted in. And certainly not, particularly with Bonds out of the lineup, a killer San Francisco starting 9 here tonight for Rich Hill to pitch against. Breaking ball swatted at and missed. He does have a good curve and a sneaky fastball.
Well, really one of the first off-speed pitches he's used this inning. He came out with that freshened arm right off the bat with 3 fastballs to strike out Dave Roberts. Now that devastating hook.
He backs him away in at the knee. Ray Durham up next.
See, that's a little bit better right there. That 91, there's a big difference between the effect it has on the inside part of the plate than an 87 or 88.
Hill, 27 years old, out of Boston, Massachusetts. There's the curve again, and Wynn just gets a piece of it to fight it off.
And I know one thing, that the Giants coming out of that All-Star break had the Dodgers at home, and Bruce Bochy's team expected to pick up some ground in the standing. By getting swept, OB, to me, I mean, they took themselves out of it.
2-2 curve, hacked at again. Wynn's getting a steady diet of breaking balls here. Saturday was a very mixed bag for Randy. He smashed his 6th career grand slam in the loss to the Dodgers, but earlier in the same at bat he had smashed a foul ball off his right foot, and as soon as he touched home after the grand slam, he took himself out of the game with a contusion on that foot. There's the breaking ball in over the shoelaces, and the count fills up 3-2.
Be a little bit easier for him to play tonight with the left-hander on the mound. He hits right-handed, and it won't be that right foot that's out there in front to foul it off of.
He puts it into play, but there's Terrio, the shortstop, to get it over in time for the out. 1, 2, 3 they go. Good start for Hill. Here comes the Giants starter, Tim Lincecum. He can bring the heat. He's on the hill in a moment.
1 carat, 2 carat, 3 carat, 4. Now get the rock she's been waiting for. Save 40% now on all loose diamonds and solitaires during Riddle's Loose Diamond Spectacular. Choose the diamond of her dreams, and Riddle's designers can help you create a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. All Riddle's loose diamonds are graded, certified, and carry a lifetime diamond guarantee. So go ahead, rock her world at prices you'll love. Save 40% now during Riddle's Loose Diamond Spectacular.
See that house? I built that house.
Hey, see that truck? I built that truck.
The American-built Toyota Tundra. Now with 0% APR financing or $3,000 cash back. Find out more at ytundra.com.
Life comes at you fast, but with Nationwide Blue Ribbon Claim Services, you don't have to worry. That's why 9 out of 10 people who file a claim with us recommend Nationwide.
Nationwide is on your side.
Lou Piniella has the Cubs rolling, and Chicago about to swing away. They won again on Sunday to keep the heat on Milwaukee, and kicking off a 10-game homestand, I should say. And there in the middle of that lineup is Aramis Ramirez, and look at his numbers since the 22nd of June.
You know what? He just turned 29 years of age, and he's putting together quite a career. Career highs in homers and RBIs a year ago. He's had 100 RBIs in 4 out of the last 6 years and 3 out of the last 4.
Starting lineup presented by Hewlett-Packard. They'll be facing the right-hander Tim Lincecum. He's 4-2 coming in, and a .463 earned run average.
Well, his last loss was almost a month ago. Look at that, 4-2. Look at the few hits. The walk total's a little bit high, but so's the strikeout total. This kid right here is the Elliott Ness of the San Francisco Giants. He's untouchable.
Has the stuff to be one of the most electrifying pitchers in baseball. A first-round draft pick out of the University of Washington, and right away squaring off against one of the best fastball hitters around in Alfonso Soriano.
Look out, Aaron. These two get together. They could find her out there in the middle of that street.
Soriano 0 for 4 yesterday to snap a 9-game hitting streak, so he's sizzling. Up the middle for a base hit. So Soriano no home run, but he is quickly on. And defensively, we give you a look at the San Francisco Giants now. France and Roberts and Wynn in the outfield. Gold gloves by Vizquel. He's got 11 and Molina with 2.
I tell you what, he's truly one of the best defensive shortstops in the history of the game. Look at that. 3rd all-time in games played. Just in amazing shape for a guy his age.
And no shortstop has ever turned more double plays than Omar Vizquel. Ryan Terrio's the shortstop and the number 2 hitter, batting .282 as he gets in, and he takes a pitch outside for a ball. Sounds like a name out of Baton Rouge, and that is home for Ryan. He was a big part of LSU's national championship team in 2001. And also a red-hot bat. He is hit in 9 out of 10. Soriano with good speed, of course. It's fascinating to look at Lincecum, and he has really bounced back from a bit of a downward slope there for a while, Sud. And he's pitching very effectively, but over his last 8 starts, he has not induced a double play grounder.
There's not a whole lot of sink to a 97-mile-an-hour heater, I guess.
I guess that's it. It's in there for a strike, and he doesn't really want you putting it in play. That's his game plan. It's to strike you out.
But I tell you what, he's comforted knowing that Omar Vizquel is back there if he can get a ground ball. In fact, on that left side of their defense, they're as good as it gets in all of baseball defensively.
Just getting underway. A cloudy night here in Chicago, but very comfortable at Wrigley. Soriano not running. Ground ball deep short. There's Vizquel. The Durham got one on the first. Dug out by Aurelia for 2. A double play. Very nicely done by Rich Aurelia to help out at first base. And there's that double play Lincecum has been looking for only about 8 or 9 starts. Scott Reese has an update in the studio. Scott?
All right, Dave. Cub fans always interested in what's going on with the rival Cardinals, and what's going on is Chris Duncan, the old son of the pitching coach, going yard in the first inning, and St. Louis has the early lead over Florida 2-0. Guys.
Just in time to see Derek Lee swing away here. 335 for the big fella. 7 homers. That number is down. 47 runs batted in, but he did rip one of the 3 Cub home runs on Sunday in that sweep of Houston.
And he was talking before the game how he sure hopes that people are right when they say they come in bunches.
Up and in. A little greeting from young Tim Lincecum.
Tell you what, that was a curveball though, but it still had the same kind of effect that a fastball would up around that chin area. Boy, Derek Lee got both feet moving on that pitch to get out of the way.
Lincecum just 23 years old. Ground ball right at Vizquel with a backhand. And in plenty of time to get Lee. Lincecum faces only 3 batters in inning number 1.
Our computer is all business. We shoot these videos for clients. Search the internet for cool designs. Organize a ton of paperwork. And my sons, they've downloaded like 1 million songs. We've got every crazy idea we've ever thought of. And some have turned into really great rides.
HP XW8400 workstation with quad-core Intel Xeon processor.
Hey guys, what's going on? Hey, Reed. Not cool, guys.
Watch your favorite Wrigley's brand chew up the track this season.
Matt, you better bring it in. We got a major vibration in that last turn. Why is it vibrating like that?
That doesn't make any sense. No reason at all.
There it goes. There it is.
So, you got that figured out yet?
Looks like Matt Kenseth is thinking Arby's new popcorn chicken shakers, made with 100% natural all-white meat chicken. Add as much or as little buffalo barbecue sauce as you'd like, then just shake it up. It's a whole new flavor experience that'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
We know what men like. Mitchum Smart Solid. Powerful protection, unbeatable against white residue. Wow, let's see that again. For powerful all-day protection that doesn't come off on your shirt, be a smart Mitchum man.
Hey, Jimmy, need a little help? Sure. You know what else would be good?
Cobalt tools are so comfortable.
Let me use that screwdriver. No.
You just don't want to quit working.
Yeah. What do you think? Great tools.
Cobalt, the next generation of tough tools.
Well, anything else we can do? There's always my wife's car.
Available exclusively at Lowe's.
Coming up tonight, we take a look back at the career that has taken Bonds to the doorstep of an all-time record. 07 has become the year of the baseball milestone. We'll see who's getting closer. And our hot topic with Bonds, the Rocket Jr., A-Rod, all still active. Who is baseball's greatest living player? It's all still to come on Monday Night Baseball. Barry sitting, at least for now, tonight. Might he be someone's choice in this booth as the greatest living player?
A year of milestones, boy. I mean, literally, it has been a year of full with history.
And Craig Biggio recently getting to 3,000. Tommy Glavine is approaching 300 career wins. He's now just a couple short of that.
The Rocket got 350. Lots of good stuff.
Get more into that later as Durham stings this one. Nice scoop by Ramirez. He gets him for out number one. We're playing the game here at Wrigley tonight. Where is Erin Andrews now? Erin, where are you?
I had to climb a lot of stairs to get up here. I'm at the rooftop of Murphy's. Sut knows this place very, very well. It's kind of like being in a suite without the air conditioning, but parties and companies will rent out rooftops and they get the schedule, you know, right as it comes out. And this particular company saw that it was the Giants. They thought maybe Barry Bonds would be close to the record, so they thought this would be a good game to come and watch. Now the reaction is different up here. Some say we wanted to see him hit a home run, we wanted to see him strike out 4 times, but everybody's having a really good time up here. And it's early.
Yeah, it's early. Well, for some of these guys, maybe not so early.
Yeah.
But a distinct lack of female clientele up there on the roof, I did happen to notice, other than Our Lady Erin Andrews. Popped up a mile in the air in the infield. Here comes Terrio in. And the shortstop on the grass one-hands it.
You know, as Lou Piniella has said, there's lots of places around here for the fans to get prepared for a baseball game.
As long as everyone's safe and no one's driving. No score here. Giants and the Cubs. Just another look at Wrigley Field from the outfield onto the diamond. And of course the ivy in full bloom, deep and green.
You know, and that scoreboard out there, I mean, that just, to me, it's so special. And the fact that, you know, there's not any pictures on it. I mean, it's just the old time numbers. And when you think of Wrigley Field, I mean, that's it. That clock, and you know, the standings out there, and when the L goes by after each game, is, you know, the flag got an L on it or a W. What happened that day?
Well, I had a lot of W's on it in the days when Rick Sutcliffe was pitching back in the 1980s, as Rich Aurelia gets in here, a .247 hitter. With 3 homers, he's driven in 21. One of the veterans on this team that you have to wonder about for the San Francisco Giants in the next couple of seasons. Well, think about it for the rest of this season and next year in particular, with Brian Sabian recently signing a 2-year contract extension as the general manager. Are they going into a full-fledged youth movement?
I think they have to. They've got a nice young pitching staff to build around, but not much else after that. You know what, this guy at home plate right now, I think you and I both agree, he could help a team win a championship. He did it with the Giants before. He got hot last year with Cincinnati, hitting over 300 the second half of the year, and looks to be getting hot again.
Yeah, could well be one of those July 31 pickups for somebody as he rips this one, but it's Ramirez again. Quick step to his left. He's only made, 3 errors. He's been outstanding there defensively, as the Cubs have been since opening day. One of the better defensive teams in the National League. 1, 2, 3, they go again.
The road has a language all its own. Are your tires smart enough to translate? For drivers who want to get the most out of their cars, it's Bridgestone or nothing.
Want a big eat for a tiny price? That's huge. Tackle your hunger with the Pizza Hut Pizzone. Over 1 pound of cheese and toppings for just $5.99 or 2 for $10.99. Get way more. Get America's favorite pizza, Pizza Hut, now online.
New Diet Pepsi Max with ginseng and more caffeine.
For a limited time, we're offering 0 down, 0 first payment, and 0 security deposit. That's right, 0 cash due on delivery on the all-new Volvo S80, the luxury car that treats life like the greatest luxury of all. Sign your name and drive away. It's that easy. Our sign and drive sales event is the perfect time to go to a Volvo retailer. We know you'll hear the answers you want.
Lease a 2007 Volvo S80 for $489 a month for 24 months.
Barry Bonds' first home run on June 4, 1986. That came off of Craig McMurtry of the Atlanta Braves. Now up to 751 and counting.
That's a different look to the Barry Bonds that we see today, is it not?
Look at all the extra base hits, 3rd in runs, 4th in runs batted in. Hank Aaron, by the way, #1 all-time in runs batted in, and still, at least for the moment, tops in homers, with Bonds 4 shy of tying him. Bottom of the 2nd, and Ramirez, who's made a couple of nifty plays at 3rd, leading off the frame. He's hitting .313, 15 homers, and 56 runs batted in. He is starting to heat up, although here in mid-July his numbers are off somewhat. He hit 38 last year with 119 runs batted in. Of course, he did spend some time on the disabled list.
Yeah, he did. You know, he's had problems with that left knee in the past before. He missed about 20 games earlier this year. And looking at him in the trainer's room before the game tonight, it's tendonitis in that patella tendon there in that left knee. He's just going to have to treat it every game before and after to be able to play as often as possible.
Well, he went on the disabled list because of that tendonitis in the knee. And in 17 games since he came off the DL, he's hitting .360. And he's driven in 17 runs. No coincidence that the Cubs have won 13 of those 17. So he's really driving them from this spot in the order.
You know, he led the National League in fielding percentage at 3rd base a year ago. A lot of people just give that to Scott Rowland, but it was Ramirez.
Down he goes on strikes. First time in 47 plate appearances Ramirez has struck out. A 30 at 30 update now. We go back to the studio and Scott Reese.
All right, Dave, the Brewers placed Ben Sheets on the 15-day disabled list with a sprained finger on his pitching hand. An MRI revealed no further damage. Additional tests on Tuesday. And with the Indians just a half game out in the AL Central, manager Eric Wedge gets a 3-year contract extension, locking him up through 2010. Details on SportsCenter after baseball, and stay current with ESPN News. Dave?
I tell you what, that is not good news for the Milwaukee Brewers. That's that same kind of injury it looks to be that took Adam Eaton out for a whole year.
Yeah, it was throwing a pitch that he injured it as Darrell Ward takes one outside for a ball. No score here in the 2nd inning. So Milwaukee already nervous about the hot Cubs right behind them on their tail, and they lose their all-star at least for 15 days. One of the best pitchers around when he's healthy. He can be absolutely filthy, but he won't be for a while.
Darrell Ward getting to play right field tonight because Cliff Floyd injured. He dove and injured that left shoulder, was not able to swing the bat before the game.
Strained shoulder. That's across for a strike on Ward. So Lou Piniella having to make a change in his lineup, although it seems these days everything Lou is doing is working, especially the way he is working his bullpen. But Floyd unavailable as that one is fouled away to the left. A look back at the injury on Saturday.
Take a look at it here. He's out there in right field coming hard, and there he goes down right there, and that's that left shoulder that got jammed. Wasn't able to take batting practice yesterday or today, but could pinch hit tonight.
Foul back by Ward, hitting .339, although he is not homered. He's driven in 8 runs. He'll be followed by the red hot Mark DeRosa, who's coming home for Cliff Floyd. He's a Chicago guy, getting a chance to play for his hometown team, although he was a big White Sox fan as well, he admitted, while Clifford was growing up here.
You know, and he had some big hits for the Mets the last couple of years.
Sure did. Cut on and missed by Ward. Back-to-back strikeouts by Lincecum You talk about a guy who could be filthy.
Take a look at the off-speed pitch here. Well, you mentioned Ramirez had not struck out in almost 50 at-bats. He went down swinging, and they're not even close to that off-speed pitch down underneath the swing. I mean, Ward's in there for one reason tonight. Piniella hoping that he could run into a fastball. Not that time.
Packed house on hand. Most of them were hoping to see Barry Bonds, get a glimpse of him, as he is out of the lineup this evening. Mark DeRosa at second base here for the Cubs, doing an excellent job, hitting .297, 7 homers, 49 runs batted in.
OB playing everywhere, too. He played a terrific third base when Ramirez went down. He made a great play defensively yesterday in right field.
And a very hot bat, over 400 since June 25th. In fact, 407. He's tops in the National League in that span. Lincecum rocks in the 1-1 pitch. Popped him up foul out of play.
Franchise, huh? I'll tell you what, this kid is something else. He just turned 23 years of age. Pitched for the University of Washington a year ago, a #1 pick. One of 5 guys now from that draft a year ago in the big leagues.
Trying to strike out the side as DeRosa hangs in there. And not a big fella, Sud. He's only 5'11", about 170 pounds.
Maybe.
And you wonder, well, where does it come from? Well, his mechanics are superb. The stuff that he learned from his father growing up, though there was some thought about him being a little unorthodox come draft time, as this one misses inside.
You know, I think back to a young Pedro Martinez. He was built a lot like that. Roy Oswalt still built like that. His body will continue to grow and get stronger.
Missed the outside corner. Lincecum talks about that delivery and the long stride down the hill that he gets. He credits a lot of that to his father, who told him, you know, at your size, this is how you're going to have to do it.
Well, it gets him closer to home, which means the baseball gets there quicker, and you add 96 to. He's thrown 99 miles an hour this year. I mean, with that long stride, that's unhittable.
Well, he walks DeRosa. He puts him on here with 2 down. A look at that delivery.
Look at how he kind of leans his head back a little bit, and then he gets out there as far as he can possibly go to release the baseball, almost all the way down to the bottom of that mound area there.
It's a little bit old school. If you go back and look at some of the deliveries of people like Gibson and Koufax,
sure,
and how they open up like that and really stride down deep on the hill.
That drop and drive Tom Seaver kind of thing.
Exactly. And Seaver kind of velocity on the fastball. Here's Jock Jones now, the center fielder, hitting .232, a couple of homers, 21 runs batted in. Not a good season for the 32-year-old now in his second year with Chicago after 7 years with the Minnesota Twins. If you go back to last year, Jock had 27 homers. He drove in 81 runs. He did just fine, but he has been benched at times by Lou Piniella recently. So a lack of productivity, big swing and a miss there.
Tell you what, if you want an outfielder, there's one available here. Here's a changeup that was available. Look at that latent movement. Derek Lee talking after his last at bat. He said, I thought his fastball was straight. It can be at times. It can also take off on you, as that changeup did.
The 1-1 is wide. A runner at first base. No score here in the second inning. From the north side of Chicago, it's the Cubs and the Giants. Cubs have won 15 of their last 19 games, and they've cut 5 games off the Brewer lead inside the division. Another cut and a miss by Jock Jones, and now it's 2-2.
Well, it's pretty obvious that the book on Jock Jones is to go soft. Had an opportunity. He chased the first changeup for strike one, laid off the next, and he comes right back and chases again. When you don't have to throw a pitch in the strike zone to get a strike, it's so much easier to get you out, and word is out on Jock Jones.
Up and in, up around the shoulder. That fastball at 96.
There's Derek Lee right there talking to first base coach Matt Sinatra. Okay. I thought his ball was straight.
Vizquel will handle the chance. And that's it for Chicago. No runs or hits, a walk, one man left, and through two, a pitcher's duel shaping up in Chicago tonight.
At S.J. Smith Gases, Welding, Safety, and Industrial Solutions, our goal is to identify cost-effective answers to fit your unique challenges, such as our web-based cylinder management system. Our support doesn't end at the sale. We offer customized welding training programs, equipment repair, and cryogenic design. With 12 locations, we can help you wherever you are. You have the questions? S.J. Smith has the answers. Allow our expertise to work for you. Find out more at sjsmith.com.
Unit 9740, inbound your location, 38-year-old male. We have uncontrolled arterial bleeding at this time. We're signal 32, code through your location. Keep your eyes open. You're going to see a bright light. You know where you're at? You're in the back of an ambulance. You had a car wreck. Okay, I'm going to need you to take a deep breath for me. Randy, I'm about to dart him. Okay, you're going to feel a big stick in your chest. You're doing good. You're going to be okay. Medical Center, this is 9740. We're going to need 4 units of ONEG prepped and ready. We'll be there in 2 minutes.
It's time to feel free with Chase Freedom. Feel free to choose points for rewards like travel. I'm free to do what I want. Or feel free to choose cash back. I'm free. Then feel free to change back again. In the old time. Without losing a thing. That's freedom. That's Chase Freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
Prepare yourself. The 3 Series is here. With elegant styling and a powerful yet fuel-efficient inline 6-cylinder engine. Stop in and take a test drive today.
ESPN Monday Night Baseball, presented by Holiday Inn. Brought to you by Chase Freedom. Finally, a credit card that lets you switch between cashback and points. And BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
One of the great cities in America, looking back at you there, Chicago, Illinois, and looking up at the big scoreboard. The old-fashioned scoreboard inside Wrigley Field. Swinging away is Pedro Feliz and down the right field line, giving chase 3 Cubs, but it's going to be into that bullpen area, which of course can be treacherous territory for anybody chasing a high pop-up like that.
Yeah, not many fields anymore where the bullpen areas on both sides are in play. Actually, on balls that are in foul territory, you got to watch the home plates there, and of course you got to watch the mound as you come in to try to make those plays.
And of course, that's the famous side where the Bartman play went down in history. Not far from there, as the Cubs lost the National League Championship Series. That's going to be off the bag. It caroms away from Ramirez and into left field. Feliz takes a big turn, but he'll stay put at first base. Well, he's fortunate just to be there. And caught a slice of the bag, and Hill gives up his first hit tonight.
You know, here's where a baseball player comes into effect. There's the ball hit. Look at Terrio, though. Instead of just staying put, knowing Ramirez couldn't get there, nor could Soriano, to keep Feliz from getting to second. What happens? That shortstop is a baseball player. He's able to get to that ball and keep the double play in order.
Terrio continues to be ultra valuable for this Cubs push. But a base runner on as Hill will fire on over. Kevin Franzen in the box for San Francisco.
I'll tell you what, I found out something in spring training about Ryan Terrio. In 4 out of the last 5 years, the team that he has played on has won the championship.
Going back to his LSU days, swung on and missed there by Franzen.
Won that College World Series with Fontenot as his teammate. That little double play tandem combination. And then every year at the minor league level but one, he played on the winner. I mean, there's more than a coincidence there, and there's more than a coincidence that Lou Piniella saw a guy that he could win with.
Franzen hammers that one foul, and it was back in the early days of spring training when Lou Piniella said, "You're going to be on my team." Well, Mike Fontenot and Ryan Theriot were teammates at LSU in 2000 during that run in Omaha to win the College World Series. Theriot scoring the game-winning run in a championship game for LSU.
You know, Theriot talking about Fontenot was really the man. I mean, he was a freshman All-American there at LSU.
Popped up shallow center. Theriot is there to cover the ground and make the catch. One man out. Those two now teammates in the big leagues. And for more on that, let's go to Erin Andrews. Erin.
You guys talking about the chemistry, these two, Cajun connection, that's what they go by in the Cubs clubhouse. I was talking to both players about it, and they said, you know, we had such a chemistry that we developed in college, and to be able to have it here in the major leagues has been special for both of them. They both told me they want to become the first tandem to win College World Series and a Major League World Series.
Wow, that would be a first. I hadn't realized that. As Lincecum is called on to drop down a bunt, scooped up by Ramirez, slings it into second one. On the first, not in time for the double play, but not a good bunt by Lincecum. And Ramirez got the lead out on the throw to second.
Yeah, it needs to go the other direction. You've got to get the first baseman to field his ball because he's got to hold the runner on. The third baseman's right on top of you. Ramirez with a nice play, making sure of one. Theriot kind of playing the first base out there at second, leaning towards the throw to get it, and then he's willing to wear it. If you're going to take him out, fine. He's still going to try to make that throw. Look at that. Disappointed he didn't get both of them.
And willing to wear it, willing to absorb that contact and take that shock. Cubs are doing a lot of those little things very, very well these days. Here's Roberts, 0 for 1. He has struck out looking. And the pitch is down and away on Roberts. We talked about it earlier that Giants owner Peter McGowan says just about immediately he wants to start a youth movement. He wants his team to get younger. Guys like Roberts who can still perform, likely to be casualties in San Francisco of that movement. Although he's going to have a lot of friends on the way out of San Francisco because they have to clean a lot of veteran guys out if they're going to do that.
Well, when you think of Dave Roberts, what do you think of first off?
Well, you think of 2004 and that legendary stolen base against the Yankees on behalf of the Red Sox. That one just missed by Hill. He wanted to strike. 2-2. We check out K-Zone here.
I think he just missed it here. Catcher Coy Hill trying to get the call. Let's see if he too brings it back. See there, the little sneak back in. Terrific call there on the part of Gary Seedstrom.
It's an all-Hill battery tonight. Popped up shallow left center, coming on Jones and Soriano, and Jones will make the catch, slicing in front of Alfonso Soriano. So despite the leadoff hit by Feliz, no harm done. Hill gets out of it. We're still looking for our first run at Wrigley.
This is Mr. Cal Ripken.
The great Cal Ripken Jr. Congratulations on getting into the Hall of Fame.
Thanks, sir. Yeah.
Cal, I'm Chet. We went to Aberdeen High School together.
We did?
I was just saying to my crazy buddy the other day, whatever happened to Cal Ripken? He said, I haven't heard. What line of work are you in?
Well, I was a baseball player all those years.
No kidding. Yeah. My gosh. Well, good for you. Where was this now? In Jamaica?
Tedster. Teddy. He broke, like, a lot of records. He's pretty famous.
Oh, so that was your vocation.
Introducing Accelerate with protein. Proven to increase endurance up to 29% over your old sports drink. So while others fade, you can stay strong. Don't fade. Accelerate.
Maybe the sun will shine today. The clouds will blow away. Maybe I won't feel so afraid.
When you get into a Volkswagen, it gets into you.
I will try to understand.
Want a big eat for a tiny price? That's huge. Tackle your hunger with the Pizza Hut Pizzone. Over 1 pound of cheese and toppings for just $5.99 or 2 for $10.99. Get way more. Get America's favorite pizza, Pizza Hut, now online.
The
summer action is here. The Bourne Ultimatum, August 3rd. The Allstate 400, July 29th on ESPN.
A look back at Barry Bonds and over number 715 up Young Kim of the Rockies to pass Babe Ruth and move into second place on the all-time home run list. Now 4 shy of tying Hank Aaron. Barry playing with us tonight. Not in the game yet, but there's always that possibility. That's starting tonight for San Francisco. Well, that was a grin that was missing yesterday after the 0 for 20. There's a deep drive by Hill. Sucked to right. That ball is gone. And the Cubs are on the board here, 1-0. He touches up Lincecum. Coy Hill, his second home run of the season.
I'll tell you what, there's some magic to Lou Piniella again this year. Before the game, he was talking about the lack of offense and why his catchers always hit 8. I said, well, you like catchers like that. You had Dan Wilson in Seattle. He said Dan Wilson looked like Johnny Bench compared to these guys. Coy Hill heard it. He didn't know if it was going to be he or Rob Bowen who was sent down. It ended up being Bowen, and in his first at bat, Coy Hill goes deep.
Hill, the 28-year-old switch hitting catcher out of the Dodger organization, paying dividends here tonight for the man at the plate, Rich Hill. They are not related. The pitcher at 0.97, no homers and a couple of runs batted in, so he needs all the help he can get there. And the Cubs have the 1-0 lead off Lincecum and the Giants. Hill with a protective swing, and it's 2-2.
Well, Lincecum's trying to help him. Well, behind 2-0, and the count right now should be 3-1 because of the youngster's frustration about giving up that homer. Turn the page. You can't do anything about that.
So with all his talent, the blazing fastball, the hammer of a curve, and all the gifts he has, he's still only 23.
And he's still really mad about giving up that home run.
To the number 8 hitter and a guy hitting a .148. Down goes Rich Hill on strikes. Third K in the book tonight for Lincecum. Back to the studio for a SportsCenter in-game update and Scott Reese.
All right, Dave, we check in on the Reds and the Braves, and Kyle Davies didn't get a single out in this game. Faced 5 batters. They all reached. One of them, Ken Griffey Jr., who singles home Ryan Friel. And then in the second, Griffey can trot. Career home run number 587. Now all alone, 6th on the all-time list. Reds lead the Braves 5-0.
All right, Scott, thank you very much. Soriano takes a pitch down and in, and Junior is going to be part of our discussion a little later about who is the greatest living player here in 2007. What a year it has been for milestones. Soriano 1 for 1 in this one. And players that, I mean, our children have grown up with, Rick, from the time they were born, like Ken Griffey Jr., and Craig Biggio and Tommy Glavine and so many others. Roger Clemens now reaching some staggering career milestones this summer. Soriano may be chasing some of those milestones shortly. 16 home runs so far this season. And Lou Piniella put him in the 5th spot yesterday against a left-hander. He says that's probably going to be the plan, probably moving forward against southpaws, to bat him lower in the order. He takes one on the corner for a strike.
Yeah, Lou's saying they've been having problems getting pitches to hit for Ramirez without having a good solid bat behind him. Of course, they traded that good bat in Michael Barrett.
3-2 on Soriano.
Very important to get Ramirez some pitches to hit, because this guy, I mean, he could just explode in the second half with some kind of protection. Cliff Floyd will do that from the left side.
And Soriano coming off his 6th consecutive All-Star appearances. But back to the milestones now. A season of them. Trevor Hoffman with 500 career saves. No one's ever done that. We update you on Ken Griffey Jr. there. Frank Thomas at 500. Sammy Sosa at 600. And what, 545 of those came as a Chicago Cub. And who did he get number 600 against? It was the Chicago Cubs. That one into right, but Wynn is there to put it away, and that's out number 2.
I'll tell you what, and almost all of that stuff happening within just the last month. Also 2 no-hitters. You know, when you wonder why baseball's so popular right now, more popular than it's ever been, more all-star votes than there's ever been before. It's because of all of the great young players coming along, and then the guys like that are still getting it done. And like that.
Well, that has to be the case. You've got older baseball fans, let's say more mature baseball fans, but then younger fans are certainly flooding to the turnstiles because we're averaging about 31,000 a game in ballparks around the country. And there's an old pro in Vizquel.
And you can't find an empty seat in this place very often either.
Isn't it the truth? Hill goes yard. It's 1-0 Cubs at the end of 3.
The new Turtle Waffle Bowl Sundae at Dairy Queen with creamy DQ soft serve, pecans, and wait, is it pecans or pecans? Pecans? Okay. Pecans and gooey caramel. Or is it caramel? Do one.
My name is Reginald. I'm a teacher. I'm a military man. I'm a do-it-yourselfer. Very much so a do-it-yourselfer. A trip to the Home Depot is probably a weekly thing. I'll go just to run into an associate and ask him a question. When I finished this project, I felt like I could do anything, actually. My dream is to restore a historical house. Anything's possible. If you think you can do it, it can be done. It can be done.
All across America, they're getting ready. It's the Captain Morgan Ultimate Pose-Off. Enter, and you can win an ultimate high roller weekend in Vegas. Go to CaptainMorgan.com to enter.
Drink responsibly.
Sink your teeth into the official candy bar of Major League Baseball. Baby Ruth from Nestle. It's loaded with good stuff you can really savor.
You're witnessing part of the training program for Citgo employees. It's called Life, where we depend on little things like buttons and paper clips, and on incredible people like firefighters and teachers. Like you, the people of Citgo know how important it is to be dependable, because for generations we've delivered a steady supply of oil that's helped fuel this extraordinary thing we call life. Citgo, there at every turn.
Welcome back to Monday Night Baseball, presented by Holiday Inn. And from Chicago, man, that shot alone is probably 8 to 10 Holiday Inns. They're everywhere. It is 1-0. The Cubs in the lead over San Francisco. Top half of the 4th inning. Rick Sutcliffe, Dave O'Brien, Erin Andrews with you. And we talk about all those young fans flooding into ballparks like Wrigley Field. The great tradition of Major League Baseball. It's never been stronger than it is in 2007. We have so much to talk about on a nightly basis about guys like Omar Vizquel, the 11-time Gold Glover, turned 40 in April, highest fielding percentage of any Major League shortstop in the history of the game. And the question is he going to be a Hall of Famer one day? When you think of Omar Vizquel, Rick, do you put him in Cooperstown?
Absolutely. And he was also endorsed just recently by Hall of Famer Cal Ripken Jr.
Not a bad authority when it comes to shortstops.
And then talking to their manager before the game, Bruce Bochy said, I've never seen anything like it. Talking about him defensively and talking about him right now defensively.
Making those patented barehanded plays, made another one just the other day. But then there's the offensive side. 2,539 hits for Vizquel. That's the most by a shortstop since 1957. So it's the part of his game that is always discussed secondarily and doesn't get enough credit.
Because it came secondarily. A lot like Ozzie Smith. He made himself a good offensive player.
Popped up here, back toward the netting. Hill looking for room, but it's over the top of that screen.
See, right here is where Hill gets himself in trouble, falling behind.
We're talking about hits as a shortstop in both of these situations.
We talk about games too. Look at that, closing in on Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith on the all-time games played, closing in also on the number of Gold Gloves.
The 3-2 hammered. Oh, what a play by Terrio! Well, talk about great shortstop play. The kid just made a magnificent stab for out number 1.
There it is right there. This organization admits that it made a mistake with Theriot. Back in his minor league career, they said, you know what, you got to learn to switch hit. You got to use your speed. You're not going to be able to hit enough right-handed. They also said you can't just play shortstop. They moved him to second, moved him to the outfield. They were wrong on both situations. He proves right here he can play short, and he's hitting over 280 to prove that he can hit right-handed.
That's where you wish there was a Jumbotron inside Wrigley to replay that for the crowd here. No errors in his last 37 games at short, and laying out for that catch. He's got a little Ashton Kutcher look to him too. He might have that idle look here. Bobbled by DeRosa in time. Yes, at first base. Good recovery by Mark DeRosa. 2 men out. We go back to the studio for an update. And here's Scott Reese. Scott.
All right, Dave, we check out the Yankees and the Blue Jays, and Hideki Matsui is in some kind of zone. This the 4th home run for Matsui in the last 6 games, 14th of the year, and the Yanks have a 1-0 lead. 2 batters later, Robinson Cano getting in on the fun as he takes aim at the upper deck. His 7th, Yanks up 2-0, guys.
The Yankees right now 9 games behind the Red Sox in the American League East. Joe Torre, of course, has had a lot of other issues off the field to address lately, including some of those comments made by Gary Sheffield about how he felt Joe Torre was treating black players differently than white players from his experience with the Yankees.
I just shake my head when I hear that.
Now, Joe Torre effectively did the same thing. He said, I'll let my record basically stand where it is, and my relationships with players for years and years stand where it stands. Ray Durham 0 for 1. He is grounded out to third. Taking on the left-hander Rich Hill tonight, who's been sharp, and he's had some excellent defense, particularly played on his behalf on the left side by Ramirez and Theriot.
You know, it was manager Lou Piniella, as we mentioned, the first week of spring training, told Theriot he was on the team, but it was because of his energy and his passion.
Ray Durham taking ball 4 as we glance at game track. 1-0. Lincecum giving up the home run. He does have 2 strikeouts. McCoy Hill got him. Rich Hill has been sharp over 3 2/3. That had not been the case coming into this game. McCoy Hill in the 3rd inning, taking Lincecum into the stands in right to make it 1-0.
You know, Rich Hill has really been sharp until this inning. Theriot bailed him out on the first guy. The next ball was hit hard. Now he walks a guy. Here's where in the past he's given up that homer. And this is the perfect guy at home plate right now for the San Francisco Giants. He's fallen behind, and his fastball does not have enough movement on it for him to get away with being behind in the count.
Benji Molina having a pretty solid offensive season at .276, 8 homers. He's driven in 47 runs. So the Giants trying to get even here in the 4th at Wrigley. San Francisco in the NL West cellar. 12.5 games behind the Dodgers in the division. They were just swept by LA and San Francisco, no less, over the weekend. That really hurts the Giant fans. And as mentioned, San Francisco has now lost 11 in a row to the Dodgers in San Francisco.
You know, I think you can pretty much, if you're the Cubs and you're looking for help at the trading deadline, look at that Giant roster and take your pick.
Sure.
Lincecum and probably Matt Cain not available. Anybody else has a price.
The 1-1 is up and away for, no, it's actually on the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
He's getting real fortunate here. He got Molina to chase a high fastball. There he gets away with a hanging changeup.
Well, Hill trying to squeak through the 4th inning, as it were. A high fly ball, but not deep into left. Soriano and Theriot there, and Soriano will make the running catch to retire the side. So the walk doesn't hurt him in the end, and inside that hand-turned scoreboard is old-fashioned, and it's wonderful at Wrigley on the north side.
Paying for college? A lot.
The
Construction is almost over, and it's due to open soon. The new Rock River Bridge leads you right to the all-new Blackhawk Autoplex. Right beside the new bridge in Milan, Blackhawk Autoplex is the home of the 3-day return. It's a different way to shop. One price. That's it. No haggling and absolutely no pressure. Don't buy new, buy pre-owned and save thousands. 2.9% financing now available for qualified customers with no payments till October and 0 down. Cross the bridge to savings and head to Blackhawk Autoplex. You'll love buying from us, guaranteed.
It's the 88th Great Mississippi Valley Fair. Buy your $35 fun card now, good for 6 days of free admission, 6 days of free grandstand shows. Come see great fair entertainment. Lone Star, Josh Turner, Gretchen Wilson, Poison, Big and Rich with Cowboy Troy, Chris Cagle, African Acrobats on the Genesis Health System Variety Stage, and the Drifters on the Kimberly Dodge Oldie Stage. Buy your fun card now at Hy-Vee Food Stores, Iowa, Illinois, Taylor Insulation, Wells Fargo Bank, and Culver's.
And everybody's gonna be there.
You tell them where.
The Great Mississippi Valley Fair.
See you there.
Grilled all white meat chicken and melted cheese, hand rolled and grilled to go with your choice of dip. For grilled all white meat chicken on the go, think outside the bun.
It takes a certain kind of person to appreciate this level of performance and technology. We like to call them Type A's. Don't miss the Acura Chance to Advance sales opportunity. Acura. Advance.
Take advantage of attractive financing on all Acura models for well-qualified customers.
Hey guys, what's going on? Hey Reed. Not cool, guys.
Watch your favorite Wrigley's brand chew up the track this season.
Back inside the old scoreboard at Wrigley, but you know, it's not that old-fashioned. Look at the computer. Hey, you're cheating. You're cheating. Come on, it's an old-fashioned scoreboard.
That's his personal computer. What would he use it for? I guess maybe to switch the hitters that are coming up to hit.
Update scores, that's what it's being used for. Is Derek Lee is the hitter to lead off the 4th inning. The Cubs on top here, 1-0, and a home run by Coy Hill. Of course, the Red Sox have exercised their demons from many tragic baseball losses. So have the White Sox on the south side of Chicago. But what about these Cubs? They have not gone to the World Series since 1945 when they lost to the Tigers. And Rick, as you know, because you know your Cubs history very well, that was the 7th consecutive World Series the Cubs had been in where they lost. 7 in a row. 2-1. Swung on and missed by Lee to square the count at 2-2.
I remember in 1985 spring training, we were all given a lot of T-shirts that said 1908 Chicago Cubs World Champions, and that was kind of a motivating factor. I mean, every year we wanted to get back. You wanted to change that number, but it still has not been done.
Well, the '84 Cubs of Rick Sutcliffe and Ryan Sandberg won the first 2 in the National League Championship Series that year, but those were the days when it was a best-of-5 series. They then lost 3 straight to the San Diego Padres. Lee takes a ball outside. 5 years later, the Giants, Will Clark, they ran right over Chicago. So the longest droughts. 8 teams have not won a World Series title. Swing and a miss by Lee, and down he goes on strikes. That's number 4 for Lincecum. Well, we were talking about milestones and those that have already been reached here in 07.
A lot of them, yeah.
Several big ones ready to be consummated here, including Bonds. A-Rod just 5 shy of 500. Tommy Glavine closing in on 300. And Mark Sweeney, who's in the ballpark tonight, playing for the Giants, just 2 pinch hits away from second all time.
And that would be passing the great Manny Mota. And of course, number 1 all time, Lenny Harris, probably not going to be caught.
Inside on Aramis Ramirez, who whiffed in the 2nd inning.
How about Jim Thome, too, with all the problems the White Sox are having this year, just across the city here. Jim Thome closing in on 500 home runs.
The White Sox have been such a disappointment. Little Nubber squibbed to first base. Aurelia will do it himself. That's out number 2. Darryl Ward on the way up next. Right now, back to the studio. Here's Scott Reese. Scott?
Yes, Dave, a busy night on the diamond. We're in Boston for the Red Sox and Royals, and oh, Manny, look at where this thing goes. Straightaway center at Fenway. That is a poke. Career home run number 483. Red Sox 2-0 over the Royals. And told you the Yanks were up 2-0 on the Jays. Not anymore. Troy Gloss, a 2-run shot, his 13th. We've got a 2-2 game at the stadium.
Hi, Scott. Thank you very much. Clearly, Manny Ramirez is getting going.
Well, they need that, too. And you knew it was going to happen. I mean, it happens every year at the end of the season. Those numbers for Manny are always there.
Out of the gate, he is blistering. Here's Ward now. He struck out in the second. The Cubs are in a stretch of games right now where they could really make some hay. They won't face Milwaukee again until the last week of August. But until then, they have 2 series with the last place Giants, 2 series with the last place Reds. They have series with Colorado, Houston, and St. Louis. They're all below 500. The Cubs could be in the middle of a long run of victories right now.
Tell you what, home for 10 after the break, gone for 6, and then back home for 7. Yeah.
Check swing. Did he hold up? He did, according to Lance Barksdale, the third base umpire. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Ward.
I tell you what, that's a huge blow for the Milwaukee Brewers to lose Sheets for, at a minimum, 3 starts right now going on the DL.
Cubs winners of 15 out of 19. And you know, they are actually ranked higher by a large margin in all 3 categories over Milwaukee, pitching and hitting and in defense.
You know, and I'll tell you another thing. You wonder financially what Milwaukee can do. What can they go out and get to help their club at the deadline? We were told before the game the Cubs have a lot of flexibility. Even with the club up for sale at the end of the year, the money is there if they can find something that will help.
3-2 on Ward. And of course, the more recent news, and I'm sure Lou Piniella was interested in this. In fact, he commented on it. Mark Cuban throwing his hat into the ring as a potential owner for the Cubs. Lou said it's kind of exciting. He's a guy that obviously has deep pockets. He has plenty of money to spend. Fastball missing. And Lincecum walks another man, his second in the last 3 innings.
Can you imagine that? This club owned by Mark Cuban and Lou Piniella as the manager. Well, the one thing whoever buys this club that's going to have to stay is that man there. That's their new president, John McDonough. How about this? He's been with the club since 1984. He told them when they asked him to be president, he said, no, not if things are going to stay status quo. He said, I'm not in here just to sell out and pack Wrigley Field, which has been his job in the past, and he's always been able to do that. He said, I'm here to win. And you know what? They assured him the money would be there. They bring in Soriano. They bring in DeRosa. They help the starting rotation. And as he was saying before the game, Lou Piniella has been huge.
So you want to keep your integrity. You keep someone like John McDonough, who's simply one of the best guys in baseball, bar none.
You know, he started that Chicago Cub fan convention. A lot of teams had tried it, none with any success. It is sold out within hours as soon as it goes on sale. Just a tremendous deal there for the fans.
DeRosa walked his first time up, hitting almost 300 for the season. And for more on Cuban's interest in the Cubs, let's bring in Erin Andrews. Erin.
Obi, I actually emailed Mark Cuban about, him putting in his bid, what the reaction from him, Major League Baseball, and, if he could get involved or not. He said no comment at this time, but the one person that did want to comment about it was Carlos Zambrano. I asked him about it today, and he said, I would love to have Mark Cuban own this team. He said, first of all, my contract's up, and I know he would pay me a good amount. And then he said, look, our clubhouse would get redone. We'd probably fly in a sweet plane. And not to mention the guy doesn't like to lose, and Zambrano obviously doesn't either.
No. All true. Erin has Mark Cuban's email. Did you know that?
No.
I had no idea.
But I also don't wear Versace. Is that what it's called?
It's Versace. Feliz with a nifty play along the third baseline. More on that to come. Beautiful night at Wrigley, and the Cubs are on top 1-0 after 4.
For every game and every team, baseball tonight, every night on ESPN.
Greg, this should get your business going.
Thank you, Bob. Perfect.
With dedicated account managers who understand what you need when you need it, we're there. CDW.
Want a big eat for a tiny price? That's huge. Tackle your hunger with the Pizza Hut Pizzone. Over 1 pound of cheese and toppings for just $5.99 or 2 for $10.99. Get way more. Get America's favorite pizza, Pizza Hut, now online.
Introducing Accelerate with protein. Proven to increase endurance up to 29% over your old sports drink. So while others fade, you can stay strong. Don't fade. Accelerate.
You know Reggie. You remember Gibson? You know about the bloody sock.
Talk about courage and heart.
You remember the Braves in '95? George Brett in the clutch. Kirby Puckett in his glory. See you tomorrow night. You can feel the Fall Classic even in July. You've memorized the moments, the catches, the misses, the pitches, the faces. And you love the underdogs. Miracles? That dark horse? Where did these guys come from? You love anyone who could put a scare into the Yankees. You get it. You're a fan. Watch like one. There's only one postseason. There's only one Fall Classic. There's only one October.
This ESPN production is available on ESPN HD, presented by Sharp Aquos. Well, you know, in the mid portion of the game, you got to find something to do. Roll your gum. Although a good one brewing here, 1-0 to Cubs in the 5th inning. Rich Hill back to work, facing Aurelia, Feliz, and Franson. That is 6, 7, and 8 for San Francisco.
He keeps falling behind. He's going to eventually run into trouble if he's not able to change that.
Got that one by Aurelia, who is 0 for 1 tonight, having tapped out to third.
It's almost like everybody in this Giants team is trying to pull everything. You get a warm night like this, it will go from line to line here at Wrigley Field. That fastball thigh high, outer half of the plate.
The 1-1 popped him up into short right. DeRosa out. Ward coming on, and Ward will take it. So Hill, despite falling behind, gets the first out of the inning. Major League Baseball on ESPN continues Wednesday. The rivalry is Gary Sheffield, Maglio Ordonez, and the Tigers square off against Justin Morneau and the Twins. Wednesday Night Baseball presented by Goodyear at 8 o'clock Eastern. Now the Tigers, a first place team, a half-game lead over Cleveland, 6 games over Minnesota. The Twins, of course, have been known to charge in the second half. As Feliz rockets this one deep to left, you can kiss it goodbye. Way out of here. Pedro Feliz with his 13th home run of the season. He has tied it for the Giants. That was gone at the crack of the bat. Although the baseball is coming back, as is tradition here at Wrigley.
But it's not always the same baseball that comes back as the one that goes out. They got a system out there where there's a lot of times old baseballs that get thrown back in to keep the new one. Oh, you're exactly right. Look at this again. Pitch supposed to be down at the knees. The velocity starting to drop down. The location starting to go up. You knew he was starting to get in trouble.
Almost escaping the ancient confines of Wrigley. Here's Franson. He is 0 for 1. So this one in a 1-1 knot on a pair of solo homers. You've been talking about it the last couple of innings, how Rich Hill has been getting away with a little bit. Not this time against Pedro Feliz.
Well, someone got his attention, and the last couple of pitches have been down. He's got to stay down. Take advantage of that terrific infield defense. Stay out of the air here as much as you can.
The 1-1 to Franson. Fouled off to the right. Keep an eye on this home run ball. And is it the same one that left the park that goes back onto the diamond? Guy in the blue cap. Let's see. Yep. No exchange there. So he gave it right back.
You notice all the infielders and outfielders pay attention because they know it's coming back or something's coming back.
Yeah. Little breaking ball, top slowly toward DeRosa. He'll glove it, flip it on to get him. 2 down as we go to Scott Reese in the studio for an update. Scott.
All right, Dave, how about the Brewers and the Diamondbacks? And Arizona wasting no time getting to Dave Bush, first batter of the game. That would be Chris Young leaving the yard for the 14th time, but Corey Hart comes back with a home run to lead off the Brewers first, and, well, I say it here, it comes out there. That off of Micah Owings. Hart homers for the second straight day. We've got a 1-1 game.
All right, Scott, welcome back to our 1-1 game here in the 5th inning. Tim Lincecum, the young pitcher. Not much of a hitter yet at 0-9-1. No homers or RBIs. He is 0 for 1 tonight. Facing a 27-year-old left-hander tonight in Rich Hill, who made his major league debut against the San Francisco Giants. His first start back in 05 came against them.
This looks like one of those moments where if you need something to drink or use the restroom, you might as well go ahead and go now.
Be a good time.
You're not going to miss anything there.
Lincecum goes down on strikes. Second strikeout for Hill. When we come back, fill out your scorecard. Who you think is the greatest living Major League ball player when we return.
Hey, Iron Man.
Yeah.
Well, I was wondering if you'd do the honor of listening to a game with me.
Sure.
I got my computer here. How cool is this, huh?
Do you mind if I listen also?
Yeah, actually, we do mind.
Can I just get
Marcus, please don't. Please don't.
Hey,
Marcus?
I'm sorry, guys. Here, I gotta go.
Oh, no.
No. I'll talk to you later.
Do you hear that? It's the sound of my dreams getting crushed.
All across America, they're getting ready. It's the Captain Morgan Ultimate Pose-Off. Enter, and you can win an ultimate high roller weekend in Vegas. Go to CaptainMorgan.com to enter.
Drink responsibly. For a limited time, we're offering 0 down, 0 first payment, and 0 security deposit. That's right, 0 cash due on delivery on the Volvo XC90, one of the world's most award-winning luxury SUVs. Sign your name and drive away. It's that easy. Our sign and drive sales event is the perfect time to go to a Volvo retailer. We know you'll hear the answers you want.
Lease a 2007 Volvo XC90 for $459 a month for 24 months. 0 due at signing.
Love the details, but you've never seen them like this. The full HD 1080p Aquos liquid crystal television from Sharp.
Baseball's greatest living players at Bonds or Robinson or Ken Griffey Jr. How about Stan Musial or Alex Rodriguez in his prime? The great Willie Mays. Roger Clemens now at 350 wins. Of course, Hank Aaron, the all-time home run king. But is that, in Barry Bonds, Rick Sutcliffe, your all-time greatest as far as living ball players here in 2007?
My guy is in the house right now. I'll be honest with you. You know, you couldn't go wrong with any one of those guys. I mean, just, you know, a walk down memory lane with the history there. But when you look at all of the numbers, I mean, almost at the end of this year, he's going to have 700 intentional walks. That tells you right there, offensively, he's the most feared hitter in the history of the game. I mean, you look a little bit deeper, there's no telling what you might find with Barry Bonds. But right now, just looking at the numbers, for me, he's that guy.
Of course, there are those who would say, well, you're just being facetious there. Look a little deeper as it's gobbled up by Molina. Throws on to get Jock Jones for the strikeout. But our list, this is just our opinion, who is the greatest living ball player. Hank Aaron's got to be on anybody's list. Hank Aaron, by the way, with 3,700 career hits. Look at all the RBIs. But I would say my guy is related to your guy, and that's Willie Mays. For me, the greatest living ball player, 660 home runs, 12 Gold Gloves. What was it, 24 All-Star appearances?
Yeah, and when I talk to a lot of the old-time broadcasters still around, they say the same thing. I hear Willie Mays' name more than anyone else on that list. Roger Clemens, I mean, 350 wins, 7 Cy Young Awards.
A little bit wide for a ball on Hill, responsible for the lone Cubs run to this point on a solo homer. I think Willie Mays just did more things well than anyone who has ever played the game. What a stop by Aurelia from the seat of his pants. Gets it to Lincecum for the out. We're seeing some defense by both the Giants and the Cubs tonight.
Well, that's one thing that you two got from Willie Mays and also Barry Bonds early in his career. Rich Aurelia, a shortstop here with the Giants for years. That's a terrific play there. Ranging far to his left, coming up with it. And then he kind of slows things down, knowing that he's got plenty of time to retire the catcher.
So 2 down for Rich Hill, the pitcher. He struck out in the 3rd inning. And some of the other names that have to pop up in my estimation, guys who have done things like winning MVPs in both leagues, like Frank Robinson, who also won the Triple Crown. Though I think it's a little bit of short shrift at times. I'm not sure why, but was a spectacular hitter. Great ball player. Of course, Pete Rose had over 4,000 hits in his career.
You know, when I think of Frank Robinson, I think of a winner. I mean, a guy that found a way to win.
Hill with a cut and a miss, strike 3. Lincecum zipping through the 5th. We'll have more on the greatest living ball player and your opinion when we return.
It's a big world, and it's my job to shrink it. I'm a model maker.
As children, our parents taught us to be fair and play by the rules. But as adults, this doesn't always happen, especially in the local construction industry, where some contractors may not have listened to their parents and use extraordinary and sometimes illegal ways to gain an unfair competitive advantage on construction projects. It's not fair. That's why we're here. We're the Indiana, Illinois, and Iowa Foundation for Fair Contracting, keeping it fair for taxpayers, workers, and contractors. The IIIFFC, keeping unfair contractors on a short leash.
1 carat, 2 carat, 3 carat, 4. Now get the rock she's been waiting for. Save 40% now on all loose diamonds and solitaires during Riddle's Loose Diamond Spectacular. Choose the diamond of her dreams, and Riddle's designers can help you create a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. All Riddle's loose diamonds are graded, certified, and carry a lifetime diamond guarantee. So go ahead, rock her world at prices you'll love. Save 40% now during Riddle's Loose Diamond Spectacular.
With the Emerald Club, you can bypass the counter, choose your own car, and get an e-receipt. National PGA Tour official sponsor.
That ought to do it.
Assuming you've done enough for retirement doesn't make much sense either. That's why you should invest with Edward Jones to make sure you're on the right track. Because 2 out of 3 Americans are unprepared for retirement. Don't be one of them. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Want a big eat for a tiny price? That's huge. Tackle your hunger with the Pizza Hut Pizzone. Over 1 pound of cheese and toppings for just $5.99 or 2 for $10.99. Get way more. Get America's favorite pizza, Pizza Hut, now online.
ESPN Monday Night Baseball, presented by Holiday Inn. Brought to you by National. Green means go. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. And Vitamin Water. It works for Big Papi.
Lights on at Wrigley. The water and peanut sales are brisk. On a Monday night here in Chicago, the Giants and the Cubs in a 1-1 tie. Very little offense. The pitching's been good. Rich Hill and Tim Lincecum going toe-to-toe. Top of the order here for San Francisco. Dave O'Brien, Rick Sutcliffe, and Erin Andrews with you from the north side. Hill, the 27-year-old from Boston. He was born in New England and was a freshman at Michigan when future Patriots quarterback Tom Brady was a senior there. Roberts tonight 0 for 2. They're talking about who is the greatest living ball player. Sut has gone with Barry Bonds as that one is flared to Terrio for a quick out. I'm taking Willie Mays. Let's bring on Steve Phillips from the studio, the Baseball Tonight set. And Steve, who are you taking from that list we have assembled, and maybe someone not on our list?
Well, you know, guys, I mean, obviously it's a great list, no question about it. But I'm going with Willie Mays. I mean, it's the premium position and the offensive punch. You know, we talk about tools in the game, the ability to hit for average and for power and to run and field. I mean, he did it all in his career, and he did it in center field, which ultimately, in my mind, gives him the edge because he was the premium defensive position.
My guy's going to have over 100 more homers than your two guys.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to go there on that one, Sut.
Yeah.
Huh?
He is going to have more home runs than anyone who has ever played Major League Baseball.
700 intentional walks. He too has never played in what's truly a hitter's ballpark. Pittsburgh was big.
Vizquel punches this one towards Soriano, who reaches onto the warning track to make the catch at out number 2. Well, let's compare the two. Of course, the Godfather and the Godson. Look at the seasons, exactly 22. Willie with more hits. Barry had 99 hits all of last year, so it's a question whether he's going to get to 3,000 at this pace. Look at all the Gold Gloves by Willie Mays, and he would have won more had they started the Gold Gloves earlier.
It's just so hard to argue. I mean, that coin toss could be in the air forever, you know.
And he wins, smokes this one to left. Soriano on the move will make the catch. Ever improving in the outfield as he lunges to make a fine play.
Back home there in left field, he looks much more comfortable than he did in center.
1, 2, 3 they go, but Vizquel isn't the only guy who is flashing the leather tonight.
Welcome to a televised performance of the National Symphony. We will be hearing Beethoven's Ninth, and the conductor will be replaced by the rapper 50 Cent, who after drinking vitamin water formula 50 decided to give this a try. And it sounds like he's integrated his hit into club extraordinary.
Vitamin water, try it.
There's a time for us to let go. There's a time for holding on. This is the time of our life.
The new Turtle Waffle Bowl Sundae at Dairy Queen with creamy DQ soft serve, pecans, and wait, is it pecans or pecans? Pecans? Okay. Pecans and gooey caramel. Or is it caramel? Do one.
Hey, Judy. Linda, hi. We're getting that new Samsung washer dryer. Us too. They're super quiet.
Me too.
Hey, Jeff.
Oh, yeah, those are selling like hotcakes. At Lowe's, we always have hundreds of innovative appliances in stock, all at everyday low prices. Plus, we always give you free next-day local delivery and haul away.
Can I help you? My wife's going to kill me if I don't bring this home. No problem.
Lowe's, let's build something together.
Use your Lowe's consumer card and pay nothing for 6 months on appliance purchases of $299 or more.
Well, NASCAR heads to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the All-State Brickyard 400. Join us on ESPN Sunday, July 29th for coverage beginning at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. NASCAR on ESPN. The drivers are in the house here at Wrigley Field. Got 3 of them on hand, including Juan Pablo Montoya. You know, 4 wins. Jeff Gordon currently leads Nextel Cup standings.
I'll tell you what, Juan Pablo can get after it, man. He can drive anything.
Alfonso Soriano, who just made a couple of fine plays in left field, takes one up high. He has singled and flied out to right in this one. Now, he has hit 16 home runs, and 14 of them have been solo shots. Of course, he's been leading off quite a bit. He wraps that one foul off to the left.
You know, you look at the velocity still there for Lincecum, 95 on the first fastball. That last pitch with a changeup. He's averaging 6 innings per start already this year, just in the early part of his career. This is a horse right here.
Waved at and missed by Soriano. A terrific changeup there. You saw it at 84.
That's one thing he's using more and more, even to right-handed hitters. He was strictly just fastball breaking ball for a while. Ran into some problems with a couple of losses.
Popped up, twisting toward the seats.
He, along with pitching coach Dave Righetti, readjusted once again using that changeup. And now he's in a position right here. He wants to go up the ladder with that high fastball. He's got that extra gear. As we look at the pitching coach there, look at him. He's telling him right there to the catcher, go ahead and go upstairs. See if he can catch up with that at 96.
Soriano, who swings an uncommonly heavy bat. And that was up top at 96, but he didn't chase it.
Did not.
2-2. Lincecum, former All-American at Washington, University of Washington. And when the draft started, there were apparent concerns about his size, which we've talked about. He's only 5'11", and that at times unorthodox delivery that caused him to slide to 10th in the first round. The Giants scooped him up. They paid him $2 million, the largest San Francisco has ever paid to an amateur. That one raked but foul again off into the seats. So Soriano being very pesky here against Lincecum.
You know, nowadays that's the price you pay if you want to win. This guy gives you a chance to win every time he takes the hill.
Pitch number 85 and foul tipped into the mid for strike 3. Let's toss it down to Erin Andrews now with 3 very fast new friends. Erin?
Fast new friends. Of course, these drivers all took part in NASCAR weekend here in Chicago. We're going to start with Juan Pablo Montoya. It was here last year at this time in Chicago. You made the transition to NASCAR from Formula One. How's your year been?
It's been pretty good. You know, it's my first really half of the season. Last year we did a couple of races to get some experience for this year, and it's been really good. And you know, this race, for example, was really special. My first race using the Wrigley's big red car, so that was pretty cool.
What's the transition been like for you?
It's everything, you know, from driving. I went from driving road courses to ovals again, to from open wheel cars to big stock cars that, you know, we do 200 miles an hour in a 3,500-pound car. You know, that's pretty big.
Yeah, that's not small.
Vizquel scoops off balance. Nicely done for out number 2.
Obi, we're going to talk a little baseball now here with David Stremme. You're getting ready to sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Has there been rehearsals?
We had to make sure that Reed and Juan knew all the words, because a couple years ago, everybody knows that Jeff Gordon come out here and didn't know all the words and didn't know the whole song and called it a stadium when it's a park or Wrigley Field. So it's just great coming out here, enjoying the atmosphere. You compare this place to, say, Indianapolis, where we're going to go in a couple weeks, or Daytona, just the history and everything that's here at this field. So, again, we're having a pretty good time.
Well, we already know our boy Reed Sorensen over here. He threw out the first pitch. It went better than 2 years ago, right?
You know, the thing was going down there is they made bets. And one said I was going to throw it in the dirt, and the other said I was going to throw it high. And I threw it in the dirt last time I was here, so I guaranteed that I wasn't going to throw it in the dirt. So I aimed a little high. I practiced a little before I got here, and it went just like I wanted to. A little.
Juan Pablo won $50, by the way. I'll just summarize that whole thing. Obi, back up to you.
All right. Well done. Thank you very much, Erin and gentlemen. Appreciate it very much. By the way, betting is illegal here in the state of Illinois. The pitch is down low for a ball, and Derek Lee, who was grounded out and struck out. Let's take a look at Reed's first pitch here. Well, there's Juan Pablo as well. Does that look like a guy who practiced and practiced and practiced?
It didn't look a whole lot like Tim Lincecum. I'll leave it at that. But I'll tell you what, Tim's not going to get behind that wheel either like those guys can.
No, sir. That's a different kind of courage. Lee 0 for 2. He takes up top for ball 4. And Ramirez about to step in with a man on. But first we go to Scott Reese for a 30 at 30 Sports Center update.
All right, Dave, the Brewers placed Ben Sheets on the 15-day disabled list with a sprained middle finger on his pitching hand.
An MRI revealed no further damage. There will be additional tests tomorrow. And with the Tribe just a half game out on the AL Central, manager Eric Wedge gets a 3-year contract extension that locks him up through the year 2010. Details on SportsCenter 11 Eastern, and stay current with ESPN News. Fellas?
Scott, thank you. And good news about Eric Wedge, who's done a terrific job with that Cleveland Indians team. He survived the whole Milton Bradley fiasco. And he's got his team in a great spot.
He proved who was in charge, and he got backed up by the front office. Good for them, and now he's got them on that winning track contending.
Well, the Cubs can certainly say the same thing about themselves. They are in contention, 3.5 games behind the Milwaukee Brewers. Aramis Ramirez the batter with Derek Lee at first.
Well, you mentioned Derek Lee homered yesterday. He also stole a base yesterday, so that power speed threat that you get from him, you got to pay attention to him or he'll be on second. And also you got a very dangerous man at home plate in Ramirez.
Lee had not homered since June 3rd. About 120 some odd at bats. This one popped up twisting down the right field line, racing for it. Durham giving it a good hard go, but it's off into the seats. And Durham goes sliding into that bullpen area in a friendly territory. Obviously it's the Giants pen, but boy, with that brick and the bench over there, it can be treacherous.
Tell you what, you got a team that's basically out of it. They just got swept, and to see that kind of effort, you got to love it. Look at that, man. I mean, if there was any chance to catch that ball, I mean, Durham knows. I mean, one mistake to Ramirez, this game could be over the way these two guys are throwing the baseball.
And Durham, no kid, he's 35, but hauling it. This one tied up 1-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Ramirez can certainly change that score in a heartbeat. He's hit 15 homers. He's a hot bat right now. 94, but too high by Lincecum. Well, the Cubs have made a move. We just got word that the Cubs have acquired catcher Jason Kendall from the Oakland Athletics for catcher Rob Bowen and minor league lefty Jerry Blevins.
They just got better in a hurry.
He is expected to be in uniform for the Cubs for tomorrow night's game against the Giants here at Wrigley.
Oh, wow. Good for the front office here at Wrigley.
Now Kendall, a .298 career hitter, 3-time All-Star. Little number toward third. Foul ball as it's cut off in front of the bag by Feliz, but it's a foul ball despite the fact that he tossed it up the line. Jim Henry pulling the trigger on a deal here for Jason Kendall as he's getting interviewed on Cubs television about that topic.
You know, you got to applaud him right there for being to go out and able to make that happen. They had to get rid of either Barrett or Zambrano. Okay, that's an easy decision. Somebody had to go because your number one pitcher, and when he doesn't get along with your number one catcher, that's not going to work. You can't hide that over the course of a year. So Barrett went to San Diego. Now there's a huge void. Lou Piniella saying before the game, the first thing he wrote down every day in the lineup was a catcher hitting 8. He knew that because offensively they had been really struggling. Well, you're not going to struggle there now because Kendall's a proven big league hitter.
Well, the Blevins, they really gave up a serious prospect, so they did have to give something to get Kendall, but clearly they are making a move.
And they had to pay some money. Jason Kendall he does not come cheaply, but you know what? Neither does winning.
And Righetti on the horn there with Bruce Bochy, the skipper of the Giants. Ramirez battling here with 2 men out, a runner at first base. The bullpen about to get active here for the Giants. Swing and a miss as he chased the ball downstairs, and Lincecum strikes out Ramirez for the 2nd time. Through 6, still a 1-1 game at Wrigley.
1 carat, 2 carat, 3 carat, 4. Now get the rock she's been waiting for. Save 40% now on all loose diamonds and solitaires during Riddle's Loose Diamond Spectacular. Choose the diamond of her dreams, and Riddle's designers can help you create a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. All Riddle's loose diamonds are graded, certified, and carry a lifetime diamond guarantee. So go ahead, rock her world at prices you'll love. Save 40% now during Riddle's Loose Diamond Spectacular.
See that house? I built that house.
Hey, see that truck? I built that truck.
The American-built Toyota Tundra. Now with 0% APR financing or $3,000 cash back. Find out more at ytundra.com.
There's a moment at night when all you want is fourth meal. Melty, crunchy, spicy, and grilled.
Do you know what separates the men from the boys? I do.
New RGX body spray from Right Guard. Crisp, clean scents that don't overpower.
Are you ready to step up?
Achieve MPG happiness. Observe huge cabinosity. Experience giddy uppiness. Introducing a new kind of crossover vehicle, the highly enlightened Kia Rondo. Now with 2.9% APR plus 500 bonus cash. Welcome to Rondoism.
Welcome back to Monday Night Baseball, presented by Holiday Inn from gorgeous Wrigley Field, Chicago. It's the Cubs and the Giants in a 1-1 tie. Rick Sutcliffe, Dave O'Brien, Erin Andrews with you. I should say Erin and friends, because she has made a lot of new friends tonight here in the Windy City.
She's everywhere.
Not many hits, each side with just a couple. A fly by Ray Durham swinging the first pitch off of Rich Hill, who's been very tough. And Durham is 0-4-2 as we go back to the studio for an update, and Scott Reese.
All right, Dave. Well, the storyline heading into the Yankees and Blue Jays back on May the 30th, A-Rod said something on a pop fly. Still some debate as to exactly what he said, but the Jays were miffed, and there was some thought that maybe retaliation. Well, they threw him a strike, and he hit it a long way. Rodriguez, 496th career jack, and the Yanks lead at 4-2.
Well, as keeping with our milestone theme tonight, he is approaching 500. Might get it tonight the way A-Rod is going here in 07. Benji Molina 0-for-2 tonight.
You made a good point, too. We both want to keep our option open to change our opinion on the greatest living player maybe 10 years from now.
Yeah, I'm taking Willie Mays now, but in 10 years I reserve the right to change my mind because of Alex Rodriguez. And I mean, generally, when you talk to baseball fans who care about the all-time home run record, the consensus is that Alex Rodriguez, regardless of what Barry Bonds finishes with, Alex will eventually go beyond that.
We've talked about the numbers. If A-Rod hits as many homers after the age of 30 as he did before, well over 800.
Good rip, but a foul back by Molina. So 496 as of tonight for Rodriguez. Jim Thome there at 487. Manny Ramirez is starting to make a push. He's off to a hot start in the second half, and Gary Sheffield might get there if he has a big month here in 2007. Made a huge difference with those Tigers. A little squibber back to Hill, and Molina almost didn't get out of the batter's box. 2 down. Rich Hill pitching a good one tonight for the Chicago Cubs here at Wrigley. He says if not baseball, he probably would have tried to make it as a pro hockey player. He said, my third choice, an announcer on television. His third choice was an announcer on television. Third.
When I was his age, that might have been mine too. I mean, he's still down there. He's a part of that kids corner in the Cub clubhouse, man. 27 years of age.
Oh, really, it takes one in there for a strike.
Over the course of this year, he's been unhittable at times, as he almost has been tonight, only allowing 2. And then again, he struggled. That's just part of the growing pains you go through with a young player.
He has allowed 19 home runs as of tonight, but remember, he pitches half the time at Wrigley Field, and half the time that wind is bound to be blowing out. Now, when you were pitching here, what did you discover those wind patterns to be April through September?
Well, it's one of the few ballparks where you do have to check the flags. I mean, if it's blowing out to right field, you don't want to give anybody anything they can hit in that direction. if it's blowing in, I mean, you don't want to give away a base. You don't want to walk anybody. Make them earn. It's almost like you got to give them a run for them to score. But when it's blowing out, a lot of times, you know, with a guy like Barry Bonds, you fall behind in the count. You got to go soft in hopes that they pull it foul, because you from line to line, it's easy to leave this place going.
Popped up a no play, back off into the stands. Lou Piniella says, if my starter is wearing a grin, I know the wind is blowing in.
It has blown in a lot here this year, and even the hitters and pitchers have talked about that before the game tonight. That's going to change. It's going to blow out a lot from here on out until we get into the first part of September. And that's what this Cub team is built for, hitting home runs.
The 1-2 to Aurelia, lunged at. He just got a piece of it. And tonight kicking off a 7-game road trip for the San Francisco Giants. And that's against 2 clubs in a playoff hunt. The surging Cubs. And then the team that Chicago is chasing, those front-running Milwaukee Brewers.
I think those 2 teams are going to run off. And I couldn't tell you who's going to win it.
In there, got him looking. Aurelia frozen in the box by Rich Hill, who has been very, very sharp. They're standing here at Wrigley. We're tied at 1.
I've been investing with Fidelity since before he was born. Well, actually, long before you were born.
Ow.
My guy knows what he's doing. We invested for our first house. We put his dad through college, and I made sure we always had enough to spoil this one. You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
Nope.
You want to go surfing, don't you? Go ahead.
No matter what kind of investor you are, Fidelity can help you make a smart move.
Sink your teeth into the official candy bar of Major League Baseball. Baby Ruth from Nestle. It's loaded with good stuff you can really savor. Baby Ruth. Savor the good stuff.
For a limited time, we're offering 0 down, 0 first payment, and 0 security deposit. That's right, 0 cash due on delivery on the all-new Volvo S80, the luxury car that treats life like the greatest luxury of all. Sign your name and drive away. It's that easy. Our sign and drive sales event is the perfect time to go to a Volvo retailer. We know you'll hear the answers you want.
Lease a 2007 Volvo S80 for $489 a month for 24 months.
Cuba, try this new Comfort Soft waistband. It's really comfortable. MJ.
Michael, thanks for the underwear. I'm wearing your underwear! That you gave me to wear.
The Comfort Soft waistband, tagless and wrapped in cotton, only from Hanes.
Oh!
Bottom of the 7th coming up after the famed 7th inning stretch here at Wrigley Field in Chicago. The Giants and the Cubs in a 1-1 tie. It'll be Ward, DeRosa, and then Jock Jones against Tim Lincecum. And the Cub fans, the youngsters, turning the caps over, the rally caps in this packed house in Chicago. The first pitch down low, ball 1 on Ward, who has struck out and taken ball 4. Both Lincecum and Rich Hill have dominated tonight on the hill. And it's been more a case of excellent defense than the wind blowing in at Wrigley, which has been a big story here on the north side. Some longtime Cub witnesses like Ron Santo, of course, was a terrific third baseman here, and now a longtime radio voice of the Cubs. He said he can't remember it blowing in as consistently as it has this summer. Ward takes one, and that one misses for a ball. And that's 100 pitches now for Lincecum.
Oh, and that's why Bruce Bochy has activity already up there in his bullpen. He's not going to go too much further with the kid.
And that's ball 4 to Ward. He walks for the second time. And that's how the 7th inning gets underway for the Chicago Cubs. Let's go back to the studio for an update. And Scott Reese.
All right, Dave, it's Red Sox and Royals and Big Papi. I think that Quad might be feeling a little bit better. Seems to have found his power stroke. Just his 5th home run this year. It's 4-0 Sox. Meanwhile, Troy Gloss goes yard for the 2nd time in the game, giving him 3 long balls in the last 3 games. Still, the Yanks lead the Jays 4-3. Dave?
Scott, thank you very much. Boy, a lot of home runs tonight in the big leagues as Pagan will take over as the pinch runner for Ward. 18 home runs. Well, we've had 2 in this one, a couple of solo drives. Bullpen staying active for the San Francisco Giants. Lincecum, the right-hander, walked the leadoff man. Pagan getting his lead, not running, bunted at. DeRosa got it down. Lincecum has 1 play. Off to first, Pagan into second.
You know, and that has a lot to do with this wind blowing in as much as it has. Lou Piniella, he can play little ball when he has to. He's let more guys have a green light to steal bases. He's put on the hit and run an awful lot to win a lot of close ball games as of late.
That'll send up Jock Jones trying to deliver the go-ahead run now for the Cubs. He's gone 0 for 2 at a ground out to short and a strikeout. Lincecum staying on to pitch here. Look at the 2 starters. They've both been awfully tough. Lincecum, that's his game, the strikeout.
Yep, look at the last number there. That's the reason for 20 more pitches as we go into the 7th inning. But I mean, you got to be proud. You got a 27 and a 23-year-old getting you into the 7th inning. There's a lot of reason to smile there for Rich Hill and his pitching coach Larry Rothschild.
Well, he's 3 batters away. That's why he's wearing the helmet. Jock Jones with 21 runs batted in what has been a frustrating season for him. He can knock some of the sour taste out here as he takes one down and in. By the way, it is the first situation for either team tonight where they have a man at the plate with a runner in scoring position. And here we are in the bottom of the 7th. Pagan getting his lead at second. Lincecum trying to hold. That's down and in. Well, with a fastball there to fall behind, and Bruce Bochy trying to determine when is the right time to lift the 23-year-old.
Yeah, and you see the pitching coach Dave Righetti squirming there. Let me tell you something. This kid at 75% better than most.
Big swing and a miss by Jock Jones, who's had trouble with the off-speed stuff tonight.
Even though his fastball is his best pitch, he knows that the biggest weakness for Jock Jones is that changeup. He has seen that throughout the night tonight in these at-bats.
Pagan ready to score on a base hit here, taken down low by Jones. The left-hander Mish continues to warm in the bullpen.
Kid's got to realize here he's got a base open. You don't have to challenge him. You can still try to make a good pitch on a corner.
Switch hitter on deck, and that one flicked foul. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Jones.
Here's the frustration, not only for the Cubs, but I'm sure on the part of Jock Jones. Look at this, 3-1. Look at the fastball here. That is right down the middle. That's everything you want to hit. But Jock Jones is just in one of those streaks right now where nothing goes well.
A pitch into the dirt, blocked by Molina. The runner at second base. Pagan has to stay put. But it is ball 4, and they're on at first and second. And Bochy is coming out. He will bring on the lefty. Mish coming on to face the switch hitter, Coy Hill, the catcher, who has already homered tonight. That's it for Lincecum. We're tied at 1 and back in Chicago in a moment.
I'm super allergic to poultry. Seriously. The only thing I'm chicken about is chicken. Chicken Bone Voodoo by me, Kevin Robinson.
X Games 13, August 2nd through the 5th, live on ESPN and ABC. Presented by Schick Quattro Titanium. Here at the Schick Shave Lab, we have been testing the Schick Quattro Titanium in simulated social environments to see if it really is off the easy.
3, 2, 1.
Off the easy, indeed.
Schick Quattro Titanium stays sharp to give you a close, smooth shave with less irritation than the leading brand. It's the only razor with 4 advanced blades made with titanium.
Schick Quattro Titanium. The power of 4 meets titanium. And introducing new Schick Quattro disposables.
This is a pen. A what? A pen. Oh, a pen. This is a cone. A what? A cone. Oh, a cone. This is a hole. A what? A hole. A hole! Ah!
Life comes at you fast.
Calling me?
Ron, am I covered?
You're covered. With our exclusive nationwide Blue Ribbon claim services, there's nothing to worry about after your car's been in an accident. We can even guarantee all repairs in writing for as long as you own the car.
Told you we were covered.
To switch to Nationwide, call an agent today.
Nationwide is on your side.
Back at Wrigley, the Cubs with a threat, first and second in a tie game, just 1 out. And it's opening day, and the boss is turning up the heat on Billy Martin and the Yankees. Catch the next episode of The Bronx is Burning, presented by MasterCard, on ESPN Tuesday at 10 o'clock Eastern. Rick Sutcliffe, Dave O'Brien, Erin Andrews with you. The new pitcher is a local kid, Patrick Mish. He comes out of the bullpen for San Francisco.
Just a 25-year-old left-hander. He was recalled on July the 3rd. See their limited action. He did get into 1 game a year ago when he was recalled in September.
He was born in Northbrook, Illinois, and he attended Western Michigan. Lincecum stepping out after 6 1/3. 8 strikeouts, walking 4, 2 of them here in the 7th. 2 men on. Responsible for the runners at first and second base. Actually 5 walks. Here's Coy Hill, who has ripped a home run. He'll bat right-handed, and he takes up and away ball 1.
Tell you what, there's no way Bruce Bochy would have pulled the kid if he felt like his team this year had a chance to contend. They were swept by the Dodgers. To me, the Giants are out of it in the National League West. So that was absolutely the right move. Take him out 1 hitter too soon rather than the other way around.
The 1-0 pitch around the plate with a breaking ball.
I mean, you're going to watch this and you're going to say, you know, he took out 96. The kid was still throwing hard. He had the hook, the change. But you know what? They want to see the kid do that for the next 10 years, not just for the next 10 pitches. And he might lose the game because of it. He's going to be frustrated. And Bochy will be criticized for it, but it's the right move.
Ground ball to short. Vizquel to Durham, got 1. He turns it. Got 2. The double play. And San Francisco's move pays off as Mish gets the ground ball to the 11-time Gold Glover. Lincecum delighted, a little bit wary, but very happy.
You know what? And the Cubs can't wait to get Jason Kendall.
Zach, are you looking at Susan's blog? She was featured in 4 of the leading business magazines, and she is so humble. You would never know that to talk to her.
She doesn't sound very humble to me. If she's crowing about her accomplishments on the worldwide net web, it's like she's embarrassing herself, she's embarrassing the company. And hello, Susan. Good morning.
Hello, Miss Accomplishment. We're looking at your blog.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah, she's a fast riser in the business world.
Seems like you should be reporting to her.
Honey, I think this might be our lucky day.
I think it might be.
I think this is what we've been waiting for.
I think it is.
Yes! It turned blue!
Introducing the Coors Light Cold Activated Bottle. The mountains turn from white to blue when your beer reaches the perfect temperature.
It's blue like your eyes.
My eyes are green!
Only from Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
This is the vital information found with the software created by Google, who partnered with Dell to find a better way to build, power, and distribute their business search appliance, which helped them reinvent the way companies of all kinds use the power of information. Because Dell designed solutions with one company in mind. Yours. Dell.
Matt, you better bring it in. We got a major vibration in that last turn.
Why is it vibrating like that?
That doesn't make any sense. No reason at all.
There it goes.
There it is.
So, do you have that figured out yet?
Looks like Matt Kenseth is thinking Arby's new popcorn chicken shakers, made with 100% natural all-white meat chicken. Add as much or as little buffalo or barbecue sauce as you'd like, then just shake it up. It's a whole new flavor experience that'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
ESPN Monday Night Baseball is presented by Holiday Inn. Holiday Inn, look again. And in part by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. And Dell, business solutions designed with one company in mind, yours.
Back at Wrigley on a Monday night, still tied 1-1. Pedro Feliz digging in against Rich Hill, and the left-hander's curveball is across for a strike. Both of those hits for the Cubs have come off this man's bat, off of Rich Hill. Feliz with a single and a home run. Hill has locked up everybody else as he misses inside.
Tries to lock up Feliz there with that fastball in. He's proven he can hit the fastball out over the plate.
See 3 out of 11 with a couple of home runs off of Hill. Franson on deck. And then the pitcher spot due up for San Francisco here in the 8th inning.
Nice job of pitching right there, taking a little bit off that breaking ball to pick up that second strike. Feliz out in front.
Can he put him away finally? The curveball is into the dirt. Hill was selected by the Cubs in the 4th round of the 2002 draft. With his bonus money, he bought a classic red 1971 Mustang convertible. He said he'd always wanted to own a classic car, and the Mustang was love at first sight. Inside 3-2. New right fielder is Angel Pagan, who came on to run and remains in the game in right. 3-2, and it's ball 4. So Feliz has reached 3 times tonight as we take a look. Our look again, and it's back to Feliz in a home run. It's presented by Holiday Inn.
Well, that's the reason he was so careful with him in that last at bat. He proved that he could handle that fastball up and out over the plate. The only run of the night thus far for the Giants.
So now San Francisco will try and manufacture a run. The number 8 hitter Franson has gone 0 for 2. He has a man at first base. We're tied 1-1 and getting late.
Pinella just signaling for that throw over to first to see if Franson will give away the sacrifice bunt here. Looked to me like he was bringing it down to put the bunt down. Now if you're a pitcher, you want to throw a strike and try to get that force play.
Ramirez charging at third, a defensive bunt. The pitcher has to get to it, and Hill lobs to first on the sacrifice. Feliz is into second base for the Giants. The go-ahead run. Time for an update. Back to the studio and a very busy Scott Reese. Scott.
All right, Dave, a whole lot of offense in Cleveland today as the White Sox have absolutely busted things open in the 6th. 9 runs, their highest scoring inning of the season. 2 of them there on Paul Konerko's home run. It's 11-2. Elsewhere, scores pertinent to Cubs fans. The Brewers up 2 on the D-backs. Home runs from Corey Hart and Ryan Braun. And the Cards continue to lead the Marlins 4-2, top 7, Dave.
All right, Scott, thank you. Going to be a lot of home runs hit tonight. Already have been in the major leagues. 2 here tonight. And you can see 2 of the top teams in the American League battle for second half playoff push. Big Papi and the Red Sox taking on the Indians. And Grady Sizemore, Travis Hafner on Monday Night Baseball, presented by Holiday Inn next Monday. There's a base hit. Rodriguez pokes this one into left field. Misplayed by Soriano, and here comes the run. And San Francisco takes the lead 2-1. Into second moves Guillermo Rodriguez, just in as a pinch hitter. And Soriano, who earlier had made a couple of marvelous plays, does not make one here.
Last couple of years, he's been one of the league leaders in outfield assists, and that's what he tries to do here. To throw a guy out at home plate, you've got to charge it. You've got to pick it up on whatever hop you get, and it was an in-between hop there that got Soriano. The ball gets away, and he will get charged with his first error of the year. Look at Lincecum still out there cheering his team on.
It is a single and an RBI. The error allowing Rodriguez to advance to second. First error in the last 112 games. Soriano upset with himself. That pushes another man into scoring position for the Giants, who have the lead here in the 8th. A bunt attempt and a beauty in a no man's land by Roberts, and they will not have a play on him. He's got himself a bunt single. Down to third, Rodriguez.
Well, everything is just falling apart for Rich Hill. He was out on the on-deck circle when Mish came into the ball game. He knew that he wasn't going to hit, thinking that if somebody got a base hit, he might get the win. But all of a sudden, the double play, now he's got to go to the mound. What happens? He walks the first guy. A sacrifice bunt, a base hit, and now a bunt base hit by Roberts, and he stands in line to pick up the loss.
So it has gone haywire for Rich Hill, who needs to collect himself. Here comes Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, to try and help calm him down. Lou Piniella, fiery as ever.
Well, it was all started with the walk. Not being ready to go on Feliz, being too fine there. And then Bruce Bochy just manufactured a run with the sacrifice bunt. Lou Piniella had to get into that bullpen for 5 innings yesterday. Jason Marquis only went 5 shutout innings to pick up that 7-6 win, but they're a little bit thin down there, even with the move they made earlier today to add a right-handed arm.
Left-hander Ullman is now up in the bullpen as well for Chicago. Play on, and a runner coming about a third of the way down. The bunt missed. Rodriguez in a rundown. He'll try to chase him down, and Rodriguez will be tagged out. Roberts at second base. That is out number 2. So a box play for the Giants on the bunt effort.
Yep. Suicide squeeze was on. Lou Piniella and Bruce Bochy have managed against each other for a long time. Vizquel does everything he can. He throws the bat at it, but Lou Piniella had sniffed it out. He called for the pitch out. They're able to pick up the out. There's the tag by Terrio, and a huge play to keep this deficit at just 1 run for the Cubs.
So that will send Vizquel back up here with a count of 0-1. When what he wanted to do is get that bunt down, but the pitch out, he could not reach it. The Giants taking a 2-1 lead here in the 8th inning. Fouled back by Vizquel, and they have the 3rd run of the night for them, perhaps at second base.
Piniella just trying to get through this inning right here because the pitcher spot is due up first. And he doesn't want to burn 2 guys for 1 spot. But I think he's messing with fire right here, trying to get this last out from Rich Hill.
The 0-2 pitch to Vizquel. Hit sharply, but down for Terrio. And gets it. And Hill survives the inning with only 1 run against him. But the Cubs shaky defensively and on the hill in this inning.
The FIFA Under-20 World Cup live coverage from Canada on ESPNU.
Maybe the sun will shine today. The clouds will blow away. Maybe I won't feel so afraid.
When you get into a Volkswagen, it gets into you.
I will try to understand.
The passage is intense, but if you complete the journey,
you will find your destiny among the world's greatest warriors. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I heard Stacy got promoted.
I heard the same thing.
I couldn't believe it.
Seriously? You gonna do that? What?
You don't need a napkin tuck for a quarter pounder with cheese.
This is a new shirt. That's a lot of beef and cheese.
Do you think you can't handle it?
I can handle it. You take it off, you look ridiculous. Fine.
The quarter pounder with cheese, made with 100% beef.
You got something on your shirt. I'm aware of that.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
It's Monday Night Baseball from the friendly confines of Chicago's Wrigley Field. Cubs fans trying to get their team back on the top side here tonight. Kevin Correa coming out of the bullpen for San Francisco. This will be his 38th appearance for Bruce Bochy.
Everybody had to move up an inning when Benitez was traded.
Armando Benitez, after a blown save opportunity in New York against his former team, the Mets, where he just came unglued with a couple of balks in one inning.
We were there where Reyes just made him unravel, and then the walk-off homer by Delgado, and Benitez was gone. Correa went from the 7th to the 8th. Hennessy 8th to 9th.
Mike Fontenot coming off the bench is a pinch batter for Pinella. Another LSU product. He and Ryan Theriot winning a championship together at the college level. See him at .333, 3 homers, 16 runs batted in. He'll be followed by Soriano and then Theriot.
Fontenot came over in the trade from Baltimore with Sammy Sosa.
0-2 pitch, served to first, and Aurelia will take it himself. 1 up and 1 down as we go back to the studio, and Scott Reese standing by. Scott.
All right, Dave, more long balls. We've had 21 of them already tonight in the bigs, and this a big one off the bat of Alex Rios. First career jack at Yankee Stadium, ties the game at 4 as they play ball bottom 6. Meanwhile, in Milwaukee, Mark Reynolds going opposite field, his 7th, and the Brewer lead over the Snakes has been cut to 3-2. Dave.
Boy, something in the air tonight when it comes to the home run ball in the majors.
Yeah, it's called heat.
Yeah, it's July. That's right. Soriano taps one foul. He's hit 16 of them on the year. If he knocks one out here, we'll be tied again. Single back in the first inning. Since then, he has flied to right and struck out. The National League Player of the Month in June. He hit 11 home runs in June. Rick, you mentioned he didn't hit a single home run in the month of April, but as it started to warm up, so did Alfonso Soriano.
Yeah, not big on that cold weather, and also, you know, making a lot of adjustments. He was in center field, and he went back to left. That's when he started to hit. That's when the Cubs started to make a move.
Swings, and there's a drive deep to left, backing up France, and he's there to make the catch shy of the track. Well, that one had no carry to it on a warm July night at Wrigley. And that is our number 2. We check out Game Track and how we got to this point. 2-1 San Francisco. Coy Hill in the 3rd inning. He touched them all. That shot to right field. But Feliz in the 5th inning, he tied the game with his own shot. Rodriguez just moments ago with that RBI single in the 8th inning. And although Soriano would make an error on the play, that run was going to score in any event. And it is 2-1. So 2 down for Theriot, who's hit into a double play and grounded out twice.
Theriot hit a homer yesterday, which was the difference in that 7-6 win ball game. Not a home run type guy.
Breaks his bat. Slowed down by the pitcher. Durham will not be able to make a play, and Theriot is on for the first time tonight.
You know what, OB? That's what it is right there about those kind of guys that help you win championships. That's what David Eckstein would have done. That's what Craig Counsell would have done. Found a way to get on so that the big boys can do what they get paid to do. Broken bat, but good contact back up the middle, and then great speed to beat it out.
And this big crowd of 40,282 coming to life for Derek Lee. And Ryan Theriot, who represents the tying run at first. Lee, of course, with excellent power, swings and misses for strike 1. Hit just his 7th home run of the season yesterday. But Lee is one of those guys, when he starts getting hot, they will come in bunches. Over 40,000 on their feet at Wrigley.
Terrio thinking about running right there. Even on the arm of Molina. That's how much confidence Piniella has gotten in. But he won't go unless he gets the jump he needs to make it.
This big crowd wants to see Derek Lee hit. You may see Terrio run. The 1-1. The runner goes. Ground ball chopped through that hole for a base hit. Here comes Terrio into third. He will stop right there.
That is all Lou Piniella right there, working the magic that he has done before. If you don't let the runner go, if he gets a jump, this is a routine ground ball to second, and the inning is over with. Back in the bottom of this inning, he called for a pitch out, and it kept it a 1-run lead. Now Piniella, all he can do now is sit back and watch. He's got his best hitter up right now, his hottest hitter, with the go-ahead run on base, the tie-in run at third. He's done what he can do. Now it's their turn.
How about Terrio, who slipped a little bit while reaching second base, but just to stay on his feet at all as he jumped over the chopper by Derek Lee, showed what an athlete he is. The Giants will bring on the right-hander, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Wouldn't you know it? One moment we're on the road to romance, when suddenly it gets interrupted. That's why for guys like me with ED, there's Cialis. Cialis is the only erectile dysfunction tablet clinically proven to both go to work fast in as little as 30 minutes for some men and work up to 36 hours. The fact that Cialis can work fast is great, but having up to 36 hours gives me the option of being ready once the moment is finally right.
Tell your doctor about your medical conditions and all medications, and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity. Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help if you experience priapism, an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease in vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away.
Why ask your doctor about Cialis? Because even after an interruption, you can still be ready.
When the moment is right, you can be ready with Cialis.
Boys and Girls Clubs of America is the official charity of Major League Baseball. Together we create a positive place for kids. Now the kids working the rally caps here for the Cubs. They have 2 on, men on the corners.
Yeah, go Cubs!
2 down in the 8th inning. Randy Messenger coming out of the bullpen, the right-hander for Bruce Bochy.
Yeah, he came over from Florida for Benitez. The Giants were able to get rid of something that they didn't want and pick up something that they like a lot right now.
Well, the Cubs like Aramis Ramirez chances a lot. A very hot bat lately, although 0 for 3 tonight. Has the tying run at third. In there for strike 1 at 92.
Fastball sliders, basically all you're going to see. Ramirez 0 for 3 in his career. 0 for 3 also tonight. Would like to turn those numbers around right here.
Looking for the first knock against Messenger.
Crowd still standing.
They sure are. All over old Wrigley. Down and away with the breaking ball. It's 1-1.
You know, that's how you drive in 100 runs. As we've mentioned with Ramirez, 3 out of the last 4 years. Not being afraid to fall behind in the count, being patient, slowing things down to get a good pitch to swing in.
119 RBIs last year. 2-1. Moving to count his way. Pagan would hit next. Ramirez with 17 RBIs in his last 17 games. Lee takes off. That one's swatted. Hit deep to left. Headed for the wall. And it's into the ivy. One run in. Here comes Lee. He's trying to score. He will, and the Cubs take the lead.
Well, he missed 20 games earlier this year, and the Chicago Cubs really missed him because of this right here. He thought he had it. He thought he hit it out. But he knew one thing. He hit it far enough to drive in the tying run and the go-ahead run. This is what this crowd has been standing for, and it was Ramos Ramirez that gave it to him.
And Lou Piniella, who has engineered a come-from-behind inning here in the 8th inning, may have thought it was gone too. We all know Ramirez thought it was gone the way he started out of the box after flipping the bat, but he'll take the 2-run double, if not the homer. Rich Hill can get the win now. How about that? Talk about a dramatic turn, and the Cubs lead it 3-2 on this Monday night on the north side. Piniella working some magic here, although it's not done yet. Now Lance Barksdale, the umpire at third, is coming in. A lot of debris landed on the outfield there in left center after the shot by Ramirez. So this crew has to quickly scurry about to pick it up. Setting a land speed record here.
Juan Pablo would be proud of that, wouldn't he? That might be his ground crew out there for his big crew.
Not sure exactly why fans felt compelled to throw anything onto the field. Well, we invite you to watch your team's out-of-market games live from anywhere. Live Major League Baseball right to your desktop. You can go to ESPN.com and search MLB TV. Sign up today. Look at these guys busted, relatively speaking. Job well done by the crew. Got to make that part of every Cubs game here at Wrigley Field. Not the throwing stuff on the field, but getting that crew out there, do a little cleanup duty. That was first rate. Meanwhile, Righetti out to chat with Messenger here as Ramos Ramirez comes up with the big 2-run double to put the Cubs into the lead. Bruce Bochy wondering what went wrong here in the 8th inning, which started with his Giants ahead 2-1, but Ramirez has been delivering like that consistently over the last 3 weeks.
You know, he really has, but you know, not that Bruce Bochy has done anything wrong. It's just that Lou Piniella has done everything right. He called for the pitch out, the squeeze was on, they got the out. And then what happens? Derek Lee hits the ground ball to second, but Terrio was running. Durham couldn't get back to get it. And right along with that, if Derek Lee was not running on that pitch, he probably wouldn't have scored on the double by Ramirez.
Ramirez at second base, 2 down. Cubs in the lead by 1. Pagan hitting for the first time tonight. He came on to run for Darrell Ward after a walk in the 7th inning and then stayed in right field. It is ball 1. Well, that's the way things have been going for the Cubs. They may yet lose this ball game, but they're starting to rack up wins at a rapid rate, winning 15 of their last 19. The Brewers got bad news today when Ben Sheets had to go on the disabled list with a finger injury. And the Cubs are the hottest team in the game since early June. And they're winning in many different ways as Howery starts to loosen in the bullpen.
He picked up the save yesterday. We mentioned the 5 relievers, 5 innings worth of relievers used. Dempster's on the DL. good news for the Cubs, along with everything else. Dempster due to throw tomorrow in a rehab assignment, and then if things go well again on Thursday, then Lou Piniella saying before the game he'll be activated after that.
Here's the 2-1 pitch from Messenger. Fouled away by Pagan. Now the Cubs have been cooking since June 3rd. That is the best record in Major League Baseball at 25-12. Winning at home too, which is something they were not doing early on. Very good in one-run games, and they're up by 1 tonight.
Yeah, just barely over 500 at home right now, 23-21.
Grounded toward the middle, but Durham gets in front of it, and that will do it. But a big inning for the Chicago Cubs and Lou Piniella. Ramirez with a 2-run double. And on this Monday night at Wrigley Field, Ramirez, Piniella, and the Cubs are 3 outs away from a victory.
See that house? I built that house.
Hey, see that truck? I built that truck.
The American-built Toyota Tundra. Now with 0% APR financing or $3,000 cash back. Find out more at ytundra.com.
My5 from iWireless offers unlimited free calling to and from any 5 people on any network from anywhere. With My5 family plans, each person gets free calling to any 5 numbers. Call dad from Detroit, daughter from Denver, sister in Seattle, or brother in Boston. iWireless offers the best U.S. coverage and network shared by Singular and T-Mobile. My5 plans include more minutes and nights and weekends starting at 5 p.m. My5, only from iWireless.
Act now and get free activation, plus a Motorola V235 camera phone for just a penny.
I'm super allergic to poultry. Seriously. The only thing I'm chicken about is chicken. Chicken Bone Voodoo by me, Kevin Robinson.
X Games 13, August 2nd through the 5th, live on ESPN and ABC. Presented by NBZip.
Enter daily for a chance to win big at NBZip.com.
Could wind up being a very special year here on the north side for Lou Piniella, the skipper of the Chicago Cubs. He had a big hand in them taking a 3-2 lead. Now they're trying to put it away. Bob Howery coming out of the bullpen here. He'll be taking on Vizquel to lead things off. I should say Wynn to lead things off here. And he taps it right back to Howery for the out. 1 pitch and 1 gone. That did not take long as Howery is trying to close this one out. Dempster, of course, injured right now. But Howery shut the door on a 7-6 win over Houston yesterday.
Well, he won't take long either. This guy is one of the better strike throwers in the game of baseball again this year. A long time used as a setup type guy, but has proven that he can pitch the 9th inning as well.
They'll get Ray Durham here, who's gone 0 for 2 tonight. The Giants got 2 of their 4 hits in the last inning, in the 8th. And they did take the lead. However, briefly, as Chicago rallied. And the Cubs are in front 3-2 in the 9th and trying to end it. Howery kicks and fires. There's a swing and a high pop up into short right. Lee and DeRosa are there. DeRosa would like it. He's got it. 2 down.
Not only the confidence that these fans are gaining in this team, but how about the confidence for young Rich Hill, in line to pick up just his 2nd win since May the 5th.
The Cubs trying to win their 4th consecutive game. Got a long homestand here, and they are capitalizing. Here's Molina. He's 0 for 3, trying to keep the Giants alive on this Monday. Ball 1. Rich Hill stands to pick up the victory, which would put him at 6-6. Pinella, as part of the many good decisions he has made tonight, really stuck with the left-hander at a time when other managers would have lifted him in the last inning. Popped up, but that'll twist off into the seats.
I think a lot of that, OB, was because of how much he had to use the bullpen yesterday. You know, you go to it again now, you might lose it for the rest of this series. He had to stick it out, and he also had to help his pitcher by calling that pitch out. And boy, he did it, and it worked. It turned out to be perfect. It kept it a 1-run ball game, and then Aramis Ramirez took it from there.
A 2-run double into the ivy in left field to put the Cubs in front. They're 1 out away from a win. Back to the net, and the count 1-2. It's been a different story for Bruce Bochy and the Giants.
Well, you know, it's been the same story for them as it was a year ago with that bullpen letting them down. They had 2 outs and nobody on in the bottom of the 8th with a 1-run lead, and gave up back-to-back singles before the double that took the lead away from them. Their bullpen a year ago was 15th in the National League.
Now the Giants sliding in the standings. The Cubs are surging. The 1-2. He would not chase it. 2-2 on Molina. Everybody on their feet here. 40,000 plus. Cubs trying to go to 5 games over 500. By the end of the night, they may be only 2.5 games behind Milwaukee in the Central. Swing and a miss, and that's the ball game. And a great win for the Chicago Cubs tonight. The Cubs with 2 out in the bottom of the 8th, rallying for 2 huge runs. And they nipped the Giants by a final score of 3-2, and the Giants are a bit stunned.
Well, this team's supposed to be built on power, that being the Cubs, but they're able to win tonight with just 5 hits and terrific team defense being played out there. They had an opportunity to win the game, and their big boys in the heart of the order came through.
And Howry with the last pitch of the night to strike out Molina. And Lou Piniella, who had as good a night as any of his stars this evening on this Monday, getting the handshakes in victory.
You know, they're 48 and 43. They're 5 games over 500. This is the same team that lost 96 games a year ago. Just a different attitude.
Cubs win a dandy tonight, 3-2. Coming up next, it's Baseball Tonight. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. A great night for the Cub fans here at Wrigley. And for Rick Sutcliffe and Erin Andrews, I'm Dave O'Brien saying thanks so much for joining us. The Cubs win a come-from-behind victory tonight by a final of 3-2 over the Giants. Now, we join Baseball Tonight.
Bonus baseball tonight as the Cubs win another one. Out of the box we go with Steve Phillips and John Kruk. I'm Carl Ravitch. It's the Reds and the Braves doing battle. And say goodbye. Ken Griffey Jr. inching towards 600. He passes the great Hall of Famer Frank Robinson on the all-time list, 587. The Jays and the Yankees, the first game since A-Rod yelled, "Ah!" as he ran the bases in Toronto. He's yelling again, this time with his bat, a home run against Toronto. There were no inside pitches. There were no beanball incidents. The Red Sox They played tonight, but they got news earlier that Kurt Schilling was able to throw a simulated game through a couple of innings. His next start could be in Pawtucket for the Pawtucket Red Sox, another place that we'll focus on later in the show. Ben Sheets, the Milwaukee Brewers, bad news for the leaders in the Central. 15-day DL. He's got a sprained finger. For a staff that's kind of staggering, that one's not helping. Hey, lo and behold, the trade deadline's coming up, and the Cubs have picked up Jason Kendall from the A's. In exchange, they send pretty good pitcher Sean Marshall out west. So Billy Beane and Jim Henry getting into the act as we'll discuss the trade deadline. Steve will break down the closers that might move as well as the offensive heroes. You see John, Steve Phillips, Carl Ravitch. This is one of those that's right in the wheelhouse of Phillips. A lot of time for him to talk. We got about 90 minutes to do this show, and we're going to start with the Cubs and the Giants because everyone is hopping on those lovable loser bandwagon except that guy. Barry scratched from the lineup. He's not playing. He shouldn't be playing the way he's hitting. First batter of the game, Rich Hill gets Dave Roberts.
The old wide strike zone tonight, Carl.
The opposing starters, Tim Lincecum. Woo! Smoke by Aramis Ramirez. The next batter, Darrell Ward's gone. There's a little Lincecum resume.
High heat and a good breaking ball.
Bottom three, no score, none on, no outs. Coy Hill, driven. 1-0. Hill second in the season.
They went out and got Kendall?
They got Hill. Yeah. They went out and got Kendall, but they have Coy Hill. Omar, oh my goodness, Ryan the Riot. Ryan Terrio with an outstanding play at short. Now to the fifth, Giants still down 1-0, none on with one out as Steve saves the best. He's not going to waste his words tonight. Pedro Feliz, 13th of the year. Just like that, it's 1-1. Here's Coy Hill. Ground ball to first. Aurelia Smothers, the former shortstop, to Lincecum covering.
That's why they're getting Jason Kendall.
Because Coy Hill rolled one over?
Yeah. Grounded out to first.
A Web Jam nominee. We've seen a couple in this game already. Runner on first, 2 outs, Lincecum. Whew, that's nasty. Might see that later. None on with 2 outs. Rich Hill gets Rich Aurelia. No, there must be something wrong with Steve. He's not talking. Lincecum looking on from the dugout. Patrick Mish, Coy Hill. 6-4-3 double play. Lincecum off the hook.
With the best and quickest hands in the game from Omar Vizquel.
Runner on second for the Giants. Top 8. He's starting to roll now. Guillermo Rodriguez into left. Sorry. Oh, you can't do that in a 1-1 game.
Charged himself into an in-between hop and got away from him.
Probably wouldn't have had him, but in any event, Feliz scores. It's 2-1. Lincecum. Yeah. Bottom 8, man on first with 2 outs. This is the key play of the game. Derek Lee delivers on the hit and run. Wow, Lou Piniella taking some chances there. The inning continues, and the Cubs.
Well, Ray Dorn broke a little early, but he took that inside pitch from Derek Lee, and Derek is an unbelievable piece of hitting right there to get that ball past Ray.
The next batter, Aramis Ramirez had the bat flip, and he casually walked towards first. It didn't get out.
Obviously thought it was the 9th inning.
Yes, it's only the 8th. He would end up on second with a double. The Cubs end up with the lead. And after that, Robert Howry.
Swing and a miss, and that's the ball game.
Smoked him quickly.
Guys stepping up at the end of the game for the Cubbies with Dempster out, Howry, Marmo, guys getting it done.
Say hello to Chicago, folks. Now 48 and 43. Making trades, picking up Jason Kendall. They're now 16 and 4 in their last 20, which is their best 20-game stretch since 2001. When they went 17 and 3, but 16 and 4, and Cub pride shining through. Let's go back to the ballpark. Dave O'Brien.
Ravi, you can really feel it here, too, as the fans are pouring out of Wrigley Field. This is a special win. It's one that manager Lou Piniella had as much to do, maybe more, Sut, as any of his players, including Aramis Ramirez.
Well, he stuck with his starting pitcher, Rich Hill, and all of a sudden he got in trouble. He gave up the lead. All of a sudden he's about to give up more. Piniella calls for the pitch out. It works. Vizquel couldn't get it down. They got out of it without any more damage. And then a guy, OB, we talked about to begin with. He had hit 3 ground balls to shortstop Omar Vizquel. Had nothing to show for it. Ryan Terrio going into the 8th inning with 2 outs and nobody on. But in that situation, if he don't get on, I mean, that's the heart of the order coming up. You want to get on to let them try to win the ball game. He did that. Derek Lee with a ground ball base hit, and the Ramirez with the game winner.
Well, we'll take a look at that game winner, the double that he certainly thought was out of the ballpark.
Well, that wind's been blowing in all year long, and it really did knock this ball down. It was hit hard off the wall. Derek Lee was off and running, probably the only reason he was able to score there. The Cubs stay aggressive. They played terrific defense. Howery coming in to close out the ball game. It's all coming together here at Wrigley.
And Ramirez, the hero in this win on a Monday night, joined by Erin Andrews just moments ago.
Well, Aramis Ramirez continues to be the consistent offensive threat for this team. What is your mindset in situations like we saw in the bottom of the 8th?
Well, I struggled in my first 3 base against the starting pitching, but, with 2 guys on and they get on the line, I just try to hit the ball hard somewhere, don't strike out, put it in play, and good things happen.
The biggest thing your teammates told me today is we are now starting to believe, even when we're down, that we're going to win. How did this happen? We just playing good, we never gave up. Yesterday against Houston, we were down 5-0 in the second inning, and we came back, score 6 runs, and win the game. We've been doing that for a while, and hopefully we keep doing it. During that at-bat in the bottom of the 8th, you hit the double. What were you thinking? Did you think it was gone?
I thought I was going, but, the ball wasn't carrying, and I hit it pretty good, but on the line. So I thought it was going, but, I take a double.
I see you scoreboard watching, checking out to see what the Brewers are doing. How do you guys keep this up along the way?
Well, we're going to have to play good because they've been playing pretty good. And, right now they're winning 3-2. Hopefully Arizona come back and win the game. But, we just got to go out there and play the game and win games.
Aramis Ramirez, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
And he's been right in the middle of this surge by the Chicago Cubs. You look back over the last 18 or 19 ball games, and he has been the #1 RBI force. And since he came off the DL, they are 14-4.
But they have an opportunity to win close games because they continue to get outstanding starting pitching.
Starting pitching and pretty good managing, as always, with Lou Piniella. Big night here for the Cubs, Ravi. A very exciting victory on the north side. 3-2 the final. Let's go back to you.
Hi, Dave. Thank you very much, Dave. And Rick, of course, knows exactly what it's like to win in Chicago, having gotten a Cy Young there, and there's very much excitement. It's interesting, too, perhaps telling Barry Bonds doesn't start. He's obviously struggling, and then he doesn't even come up in the 9th inning. If you have a home run threat to tie the game, he's it. They didn't bring him in.
Yeah, it's tough, though, to tell the middle of the lineup, though, that, hey, you're going to pinch hit. But, guy's got 750-something homers.
What's wrong with him?
He's pulling off, and it's just a minor thing. But the problem is he wants to hit home runs. He wants to get this record out of the way and let everyone relax and just play ball the second half of the season. Here's a home run he hit early in the season against Scott Proctor. You look at the swing, how compact, hits it out of right center field, more center field than right. And here's the all-star at bat right here against Josh Beckett when he thought he hit a home run. Well, let's take a look at the 2 swings side by side, and you'll know why he didn't hit the one out. Now watch his feet. When his feet get, this is a setup. Everything's the same. But watch when his feet hit. Look at the hip pulling out, the front shoulder pulling out on the one against Josh Beckett there on the right, and that's why he doesn't get any power to hit the ball out of the ballpark because his bottom half is already gone, and he's swinging with all arms. He thought he hit the home run in the All-Star game against Beckett. It comes up short. The reason why is the shoulder pulling off, the hip pulling off, and all it is an arm swing, and he's not getting any power from his bottom half to hit the ball out of the ballpark. That's his only problem.
They've really been caught between a rock and a hard place with Bonds. You hope if he's healthy, he has a great year, and this team gets lifted. That hasn't happened. What's going to happen?
Well, the Giants signed Barry Bonds because they wanted to, fulfill the breaking of the record and be able to give it to their fans and also sell some tickets to do it. But the reality is they're a much older team than what's going to be able to take to win games. They have 9 position players, 32 years of age or older. They're the 5th oldest team in the major leagues. A lot of that's because you need the older veteran players to be with Barry Bonds. A lot of young kids being around that. Well, you know what? If Bonds doesn't want to talk to the media, you need the veteran players to be there, to be able to handle it, to answer the questions. Young players can't do that, but they've got a major rebuilding process to take place in San Francisco. We're seeing the end of an era with Barry Bonds. He's going to break the record, but whether he does or not, whether he plays next year or not, it's highly unlikely he does it in San Francisco. A lot of talk now, they're already putting out some feelers, doing some due diligence on Alex Rodriguez, trying to get younger and still have some power threat in that lineup. So look for the Giants to be a much different team next year than they are this year.
That whole division, maybe with the exception of the Rockies, very dependent on pitching. They've drafted all pitchers. A-Rod or somebody like that makes sense. They've been so dependent on Bonds for offense.
Well, and that's really the thing. When you see they need to rebuild, well, they don't have those young position players coming up in the organization to take place for those 9 guys 32 years of age or older, so they may need to piece it together a little bit. They may ultimately need to trade some of those young pitchers to bring back some position players. How about San Francisco Giants meet Tampa Bay Devil Rays? Right. Kind of, I think, a perfect match for 2 teams trying to rebuild for the future.
Meet in Madison, Wisconsin, and make some deals, and then go back to your respective coasts. Good. Diamondbacks and the Brewers meet in Milwaukee. Why not? I mean, that's sort of a midpoint. Brewers playing well. Ben Sheets, though, DL, and Dave Bush is on the mound. Chris Young not helping the cause of Milwaukee. Young's 14th of the year. Arizona, that's a long one, up 1-0. Later in the inning, Connor Jackson, J.J. Hardy plants and fires over. Oh, Big Daddy.
Doesn't necessarily have the mobility to jump in the air and make the throw, but he has the arm strength to stop his feet, plant, and throw a BB.
How about the pick by Prince on that play?
Overlooked by the middle infielder over here.
Corey Hart ties it at 1. J.J. Hardy into left. Connor Jackson, no. Able to keep the ball in front of him, though, and that helps. Third batter of the inning. He's the MVP, Ryan Braun. His 14th of the year.
They had doubts whether he was ready for the big leagues. They took a chance, and boys, he's proven them right. He is more than ready.
A lot of being ready for the big leagues attitude, and that kid's got some attitude.
Chad Tracy, Prince Fields does it himself, and Bush is out of another jam.
What the nimbleness of the first baseman.
He's showing something tonight. Uh-oh. Mark Reynolds, right center, within a run. A game of home runs. Diamondbacks are down 3-2. Reynolds 7th of the year.
In the third.
The Prince peels one down the line and left. Trouble all over it. Hardy comes in. Brewer pride, trying to stave off these red-hot Cubbies.
Makes it so tough to pitch to him, Carl. You just, look to right, go to left again.
There are the Brewers, 11 over, knowing, it was interesting, you heard Arama say, you can see, he's watching the scoreboard, that the Brewers are up 3-2. Scoreboard's changed, they're now up 4-2. We'll keep you posted on this one, as we are here until the top of the hour. A lot of opportunities for updates. Cardinals and the Marlins. It's a 5-2 game when Miguel Cabrera goes right field with some pop.
No way.
Orange seats.
Oh, yes way.
God.
He had 2 bombs to left yesterday, and that one just down the right field line.
Warming. Will the Marlins make some big deals? Teams 4 games below. Everyone talks about Dontrell. Maybe Cabrera. Cardinals 5, Marlins 3. Ownership issues, stadiumship issues in both Florida and with those Chicago Cubs. No stadium issue with the Cubs, that's for sure. We'll come back. Due up on baseball tonight. Little retaliation. Do the Jays bite back after Awad was barking while running the bases in Toronto? Their first meeting since. And the old Wizard of Wilton takes out the crystal ball to talk trades. Deadline a couple weeks away. Steve with his list of hitters who might be helping a team in need. And then later,
It takes a certain kind of person to appreciate this level of performance and technology. We like to call them Type A's. Don't miss the Acura chance to advance sales opportunity. Acura. Advance.
Take advantage of attractive financing on all Acura models for well-qualified customers.
Superstar David Beckham is coming to California to bring the LA Galaxy.
You say stop, and I say go, go, go. Oh no, you say goodbye, and I say hello. Hello, hello. I don't know why you say goodbye, I'll say hello.
Baseball Tonight, brought to you by Acura. Acura. Advance.
An 8-week mini-series event with George, Reggie, Billy. The Bronx's burning continues Tuesday night in the slot previously reserved for baseball tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern time. We'll see to the Bronx is burning for 8 weeks. Jays and the Yankees. It only means that the analysis on the Midnight Baseball Tonight show are going to be off the charts. Crucky locks into some good highlight watching. May 30th, remember, A-Rod and the Yankees barks as he drives by the third baseman. Ball dropped. Howie Clark was upset. Shortstop was all fired up. Yankees won the game 10-5. And then tonight, A-Rod doesn't have a chance to yell at anybody. He grounds into a double play, a 5-4-3 DP. In the second, Kei Igawa in a bases-loaded jam. Alex Rios, the home run derby participant, just flies out to right. Igawa out of a jam.
Ball not carrying to right tonight.
It is now.
Matsui-san.
The wind shifted.
14th of the year. Yankees up 1-0. That ball was just hit better. Next batter,
Georgie.
Hip, hip, Jorge. Just foul.
Oh.
He later ground out. Next batter, though, Robinson Cano. That one may stay fair. The crowd on hand at the Yankee Stadium to watch the Blue Jays. Cano's 7th of the year, and the Yanks got a 2-0 lead. Dangerous. Troy Gloss. Wow, all of a sudden, they're gusting out to right. That was an 0-2 pitch, 13th of the year. We're to the third. This is how Yankee games generally move. Slowly. Abreu, though, hustling down the line. He's safe. Inning alive. 3-2-1. Liftoff. Were it not for Abreu's hustle, A-Rod wouldn't hit the 496th home run of his career. At least not then. Oh, what was Troy looking at?
He's probably looking like, ooh, okay, now I know who the MVP is.
But Gloss glares back with his 14th.
Yeah, well, he is a strong hitter.
Oh, so is that man. Alex Rios, Scott Proctor. It's tied at 4. The home run derby runner-up of the year's got 19.
The Yankee bullpen, very vulnerable.
Second and third, Andy Phillips, a little blooper. It drops in front of Vernon Wells. The Yankees move ahead by a score of 6-4. Phillips is all fired up. They're in the bottom of the 7th, trying to get a little winning streak going here, those Yanks. So A-Rod now, 32 home runs, 2 more RBIs to add to his total, which is completely out of whack with regards to the rest of the team and most of baseball. Let's go back to the Brewers. Cub fans, take note. It's 4-2 when Stephen Drew plays long ball. Right in the old happy zone down there. 4-3.
He hit that ball a long, long way for a ball down and away. Not a horrible pitch by Bush.
All right, since May 29th, we moved to the Red Sox and the Royals, and who would have thunk this? The Royals' record is better than Boston's. 20-19, 20-21. All of the numbers eerily similar. Royal pride. They're at Fenway to take on a team they're just better than. Kurt Schilling threw 31 pitches before the game, a 2-inning simulated effort. Oh, he looked good.
Cut Willie Montpena looking there.
That's hard to do. Willie's usually swinging. Jason Gabbard is on the mound. Wow.
The practice is breaking balls.
He was trying to be fair to Willie Moe. Billy Butler and Emil Brown are gone. Jason Gabbard's never lost at Fenway. He's 3-0. Grudzalonic. Heads up play there. Get rid of it and get the double play.
Euclid made that play with a strong arm. Great throw. Right on the bag.
Dustin Pedroia. Talk about Andrew Jones breaking that back leg down. Dustin brought it down to the ground.
High fastball, collapses the backside, drives it.
This one is absolutely slobber knockers. Look at where it lands.
Wow.
You're going to need more than 89 or 90 miles zone there.
Huh?
Happy?
The hug?
There's no kissing in baseball, but there is kissing and hugging. Tony Pena. Gabbard can't get it.
Look at Pedroia.
It's Dustin's world out there.
Tell you what, he has gained so much confidence from early in the season, both offensively and defensively.
Look at the rookies carrying the Red Sox.
Wait, a veteran will help out here in a minute.
Mike Lowell to left. Emil Brown doing his best Manny imitation. Oh, it's contagious.
Yeah, well, you want to make your pitcher work as much as possible out there.
Emil's better than that. Bottom 6, 1 on. David Ortiz, ding dong, pitch dead. Ortiz 16th of the season. Bannister pretty unhappy right now. It's a 4-0 lead. To the 9th, Gabbard's still on. The only other Red Sox with a complete game, Schilting, saying no way he's going to. Whoa, Brazilanix the second out. 7 Ks and Martin is gone. Kason Gabbard could have went 12 tonight.
Yeah, why not? Let's keep playing.
Career high 8 Ks. The Red Sox win it by a score of 4-0. He becomes the first rookie this year with a complete game shutout. We'll hear from Kason Gabbard later on this show, so don't go anywhere, Red Sox fans. Due up, the next chapter of As the Silver One Sees It. Steve gives us the pitchers who may move to give another team a shot in the arm at the deadline. And how one of the country's darkest days turned into one of the most moving experiences of George Bush's presidency. A look back at his appearance at Yankee Stadium following 9/11.
I'm super allergic to poultry. Seriously. The only thing I'm chicken about is chicken. Chicken Bone Voodoo by me, Kevin Robinson.
X Games 13, August 2nd through the 5th, live on ESPN and ABC. Presented by Subaru.
Wow, this Subaru Tribeca has a great interior.
Award-winning, actually. Backup camera. It handles better than our car. But then again, it does have all-wheel drive standard, a 256 horsepower engine, and a top safety pick award, a DVD player, third row seats, and 4 cargo area tie-down hooks.
I love it when you talk car.
Introducing the all-new Subaru Tribeca.
Still have the wind damage to your house on your mind? One call to Farmers Help Point could fix that. Farmers Help Point. Sanity makes a comeback.
Inspiron 1420, powered by Intel Centrino Duo processor technology. Dell, yours is here.
Welcome, everyone, back on Baseball Tonight. Those of you who are just joining us, our loyal viewers, it's 10 o'clock in the East. Steve Phillips is here, John Kruk, and I'm Carl Ravitch. We will look at the Red Sox highlight the Cubs game in which they were victorious. Brewers involved in a good one with the Diamondbacks, and Steve will tell us which closers might be moved as well as offensive players. There was a trade today. Sean Marshall and Jason Kendall. Marshall goes out west to the A's. Kendall joins the lovable losers, now winners, the Chicago Cubs. We're going to bring you all the updates over the course of the next hour. The Yankees are playing. A-Rod has hit another home run tonight, so he's got 32 against the Jays in a 6-4 game. Yankees on top. No.
Swing and a miss, an impressive inning.
They're in a league with a little sink piece there.
Well, a little drop-down sink action.
So it's the Yankees 6, the Blue Jays 4. Troy Glass has got 2 home runs. A-Rod hit his 32nd. He's got 2 RBIs. Kei Igawa started this game. Both teams into their bullpens. And the Yankees, of course, knowing that the Red Sox had won earlier. I'll show you those highlights a little bit later on. So it's 6-4 there as they trail Boston by 9 when the day began. So the Sox, the other ones, and the Indians. Cliff Lee and company looking for a win. And he gets Jerry Owens to line to center field. Probably not what he wanted them to. Pinerco. If you had a seat in the 14th row, you had a chance. They got 9 runs on 9 hits in the 6th inning. Was it me, or did Martinez not realize the runner was coming in behind him a little early?
I think that was I think he wasn't anticipating the throw.
Wow. White Sox 11-5, but lo and behold, in the bottom of the 8th, the Indians have them loaded with Barfield to the plate, and there's nobody out. So that's good business for baseball tonight. We'll keep you posted on what happens there. All right, Steve, so the A's and the Cubs get the trade ball rolling with the Jason Kendall, Sean Marshall deal. Kendall going to Chicago, Marshall going into Oakland. You think Chicago, you think Ken Williams. He'd trade anybody, especially if his team is really out of this race. And Bobby Jenks comes to mind, but anybody in that team is, if you look at closers, if Jenks isn't going to go, who might move?
Well, I think we have a chance for 5 closers currently closing for their clubs going to playoff contending teams. Take a look at Eric Gagne. Now that he's proven that he's healthy and he can take the ball, he could have an impact on the pennant race. I think a perfect fit for the Detroit Tigers. He'd allow Jim Leyland to shorten the game. The Tigers' 294 opponents batting average in the 8th inning. With Joel Zumaya coming back from injury and Fernando Rodney, Gagne could solidify the 8th and protect Todd Jones in the 9th. Chad Cordero of the Nationals, he'd be a great fit for the New York Mets. Omar Minaya was the general manager for the Montreal Expos when Cordero was drafted and brought to the big leagues. Aaron Heilman's been a little bit vulnerable for the Mets in the 8th inning. Cordero could come in, solidify the 8th, and protect Billy Wagner in the 9th. Brad Lidge, the great change of scenery type guy right here, I think going to the Boston Red Sox would be a perfect fit. With Jonathan Papelbon, Hideki Okajima, Lidge could solidify the 7th inning, shorten the game for Terry Francona, and give the Red Sox a chance every time they have a lead. The Devil Rays have caught lightning in a bottle with Al Reyes, and I think he'd be a perfect fit for the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies don't make that big play at the deadline. They're not looking for that power guy, but Reyes, 175 opponents batting average among the elite with closers. Octavio Dotel, his power fastball, over 10 strikeouts per 9 innings, a great fit for the Cleveland Indians. Joe Borowski, 305 batting average against, shows some vulnerability in the 9th inning for Cleveland. Octavio Dotel could protect him and help Rafael Betancourt in the 7th and 8th inning.
Okay, we've always seen, especially recently, how it's power arms. Is there any chance that some team that's in the race identifies somebody who maybe pitches the 5th or 6th inning and says, we want to make him an 8th inning guy?
Well, I think unlikely, because I think it's a very deep market when it comes to the relievers. And I think you're going to have closer types who could protect the closer, pitch the 9th inning, but really help managers shorten the game in the 7th and 8th inning.
A little tweaking in the closer role. A little later on, we'll look at the guys who might change the game offensively for teams in need. All right, now the Baseball Tonight update machine rolling. The Cardinals and those Marlins. St. Louis still thinks they have a chance in this race. 1st and 3rd. Roland rolls one over. That's a double play. So St. Louis can't add to its lead in the 9th inning. In the bottom of the 9th now, Florida trying to come back and either tie or win this game. 5-3 Cardinals over the Marlins. Duncan hit a home run early in this game. In fact, there were home runs by each team in the 1st inning of this one. 5-3, St. Louis leading Florida. Now the Rockies and those Buccos. This has been a wild game. Now 10-8. Freddie Sanchez in the 7th inning. Oh, he got frozen. Nothing doing there. 20 hits in this game. And I believe at one point, this was like a 9-1 game in favor of the Rockies.
This one's not over yet. A lot more runs still to come, I think.
Now 10-8, so we'll keep our eye on that one. Another one that's good business for Baseball Tonight. We'll come back on this edition, and when we do, hitters on the block. From Adam Dunn to Todd Helton, will the big bat be moving your way before the deadline? And with all due respect to the Marlins, 3 teams ahead of them in the East, double in the wild card. Is a deal for Dontrell a possibility? And later on this Emmy Award-winning edition of Baseball Tonight.
Don't act, don't assume, don't presume, don't fake. Just be yourself. You know how to do that, don't you?
New RGX body spray from Right Guard. Crisp, clean scents that don't overpower.
Are you ready to step up?
That's how you want it, baby, and I don't want you around.
I don't believe it, and not for a minute. You know, guys, they feel wrong.
Matt, you better bring it in. We got a major vibration in that last turn. Why is it vibrating like that? I'm trying to stop.
That doesn't make any sense. No reason at all.
There it goes. There it is.
So, do you got that figured out yet?
Looks like Matt Kenseth is thinking Arby's new popcorn chicken shakers, made with 100% natural all-white meat chicken. Add as much or as little buffalo barbecue sauce as you'd like, then just shake it up. It's a whole new flavor experience that'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
Do you know what separates the men from the boys? I do.
New RGX body spray from Right Guard. Crisp, clean scents that don't overpower.
Are you ready to step up?
Sports are great for a kid's body. Steroids aren't. They can ruin tendons in legs and arms. Steroids can stunt bone growth and increase the chances of liver cancer, heart attack, and stroke. Steroids don't make great athletes. They destroy them. Talk to your kids. Need help? Get help. Visit drugfree.org.
Next on SportsCenter, another reason why the Patriots could rule the AFC East. Who's more now, Shaq or a 7-time gold medalist and world champ? And with the trade deadline fast approaching, a former GM plays Let's Make a Deal next.
Hi, this reminder, folks, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, Wednesday Night Baseball. You'll see baseball tonight at 7:30 Eastern Time, a couple of day games, so we'll get you the highlights of those. And then send it to Minnesota for a key AL Central game between the Tigers and the resurgent Minnesota Twins. That's Wednesday night, 7:30 baseball tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. There's a good pitching matchup in that game, is there not?
Andrew Miller, Johan Santana, pretty good matchup, I'd say.
All right, we'll look forward to that. 8 o'clock Eastern Time, first pitch, Wednesday Night Baseball. Cardinals and those fish. Show you the whole highlights of this one. Byung-Young Kim is on the mound looking for his 5th win of the season. If you don't follow Byung-Young Kim and someone asks you, it's just a sort of a random fan, what team he's on now, it'd be hard for many to come up with it. He moves around. Chris Duncan's 18th of the season. It's 2-0. Jeremy Hermida, an RBI single off Eckstein's glove.
That's a single?
Was ruled a single.
Man on second base, you got to knock that down, keep it in the infield.
Who's going to argue what the official score does in Florida?
Not I.
Gary Bennett, an RBI single to left. Encarnacion is in.
Tony La Russa let Bennett swing on a 3-0 pitch there.
Hasn't been a good year for Byung-Young at the plate. 0 for 18.
He's due, Carl. He's due.
He knew that. Gapping. Kim's first hit since August 23rd of 06. Duncan looked like Phillips reaching for a wallet after a meal. Miguel Cabrera looking for his first hit of the game. Nope. And be careful in South Florida. Those can bring rain. Now in the 6th, one out. Adam Kennedy. That's crushed. Cardinals had hoped to get about 17 of those this year. They now have 2.
Last night he hit one, and then now again today. So he's on a roll, Carl.
Ugla, not happy. Marlins could not produce, but they do in the 8th. Cabrera, strong like bull.
And I hit my best bolt there in that ballpark, and it barely went out. He reached out and tapped one the other way, didn't he?
He's got 22. He's a tapper. Speaking of tapping, Roland taps one back to short. Hanley starts it. Danny ends it.
Well, that ball away. Scott Roland just tries to hook that every time, and it's a 6-4-3.
Sweet Hanley Ramirez. His initials are HR, but he grounds out here. No home run. They would have liked to have seen one from Hanley there. So it's the Cardinals and Jason Isringhausen picking up the save. They beat him by a score of 5-3. Duncan had that home run. Kennedy his second. Albert Pujols, who's been on a home run tear recently, does not go deep, but he does have a couple of walks as he goes 1 for 3 in the game. Now you think about pitchers, and we'll get to closers later. Florida Marlins, it seems like you have this discussion every year. Cabrera, Dontrelle Willis particularly. Should they trade Dontrelle Willis?
I mean, I think when you really look at Dontrelle Willis and his performance and what he's doing so far this year, I mean, the record's not very good. The ERA has gotten worse each of the last 3 seasons. And the reality is that he's not pitching like the premium pitcher that really is the perception of what Dontrelle Willis is. He's not been nearly as effective. You look at his last 8 starts, he has been struggling. If the Florida Marlins want to get premium value for Dontrelle Willis, now is the time to deal him. The starting pitching trade market this year at the trade deadline is going to be very weak. We talk about guys like Steve Traxel, maybe a Matt Morris, but Dontrelle Willis would be the biggest starting pitching chip available out there with a lot of teams. Everybody in the National League East is looking for starting pitching, and just about everybody in baseball would take one more starter. This is the time to deal him. You can come in 4th place with him. You can come in 4th place without Dontrelle Willis, and the reality is if his performance continues to decline, you're not going to get premium value for him. So this is the time for the Marlins to deal Dontrelle.
He's got that big smile. He seems like a big market guy. Is he one of those change of addresses might change everything?
I really think that could be the case. I think, you know, we have to remember his rookie year, he went to the World Series and they won the World Series. Everything after that's a letdown. So I think this guy's looking for an adrenaline kick. You remember last year when they got back in a pennant race, he pitched pretty well for this team down the stretch. But the thing with Dontrelle Willis is, and the Florida Marlins is, he's their most tradable commodity right now, except Miguel Cabrera, which he's the cornerstone of their team. You're never going to trade him. They need a center fielder. They need a starting catcher. The Braves are looking for a starting pitcher somewhere. They have a catcher in Saltalamacchia, back up to Brian McCann, who just signed a big deal. You know, Saltalamacchia should be available. I mean, that to me makes sense for a trade because they do need a catcher and they need a center fielder in Florida, so why not?
Yeah, and you've come a real long way.
Saltalamacchia.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty good.
First night you were just the yes man. I mean,
yeah,
salty.
Yeah. When you look at Florida, what are they doing? Where are they going? I mean, they've been spinning wheels with the stadium for so many years.
I mean, the lowest payroll in the game, and you know, right now, I mean, they need to rebuild this franchise, and they have some good young players, but they're a number of years away. I thought, you know, maybe if they're just a couple years away, you keep Dontrelle Willis, because if you trade him, you're going to need somebody like him when you're ready to compete. The reality is they're staying close around 500, but they're not really a competitor in that National League East right now. They can't keep up with the Braves, Phillies, and Mets. So deal Dontrelle Willis, start to develop the young pitchers you have, plug a couple of the holes, as John said, and I know you don't want to trade within your division, but if the Atlanta Braves have the package that you can bring back to move Dontrelle Willis, make the deal. They've got to worry about themselves right now and not worry about who they're helping.
Would you do that in your own division when you were general manager?
I didn't care. You know, Frank Cashin was the guy I learned from with the Mets, and Frank Cashin's thought was, look, you can't worry about how you're impacting everybody else. Now, I'll say this, I didn't talk to John Schuerholz a whole lot when I was GM for the Mets and he was with the Braves, but anybody else, I made deals. If it helped me, I didn't care.
He likes you a little bit more now.
Yeah, no, we talked. I mean, but we didn't really make deals.
No, he really didn't.
He didn't care for me.
I want to update this deal. Initially reported that Sean Marshall was involved with this trade, but apparently the Cubs are not trading Sean Marshall.
He said it all after he said that. So I said, you want all this printed? And he took his big fist, I still remember it, and pounded the bar and said, print it.
The Bronx is burning. Tuesday nights at 10 on ESPN.
First game, age 2. Tears shed, too many. Player you wish you were, 27. Trades you wish they made, hundreds. The chance to become more than a fan, priceless. You could win a week with your MLB team. Use your MasterCard or go to priceless.com.
There's a time for us to let go. There's a time for holding on. This is the time of my life.
This is how you turn it on. This is your music. This is your email. This is the web. And this is a call on your iPhone.
Well, gold is more than just a color for Century 21. It's a standard. What I do, it's about service. So much of my job is about things you don't see, the research and negotiations, so that you don't walk into a home that you're not interested in. Because time is gold. So that when that sold sign goes up, you've struck gold.
Century 21. The gold standard.
All right, update of the A's and the Rangers. Men are on first and third in the first. Ooh, Marlins looked like he started, hesitated, stopped, swung and missed.
Got the old dead fish, Carl.
Reds and the Braves. Kyle Davies, Ken Griffey. Oh, boy. An RBI single to the left. Ryan Friel scores.
There's a big shift on there. Griffey just went the other way. Punched it through the hole where Edgar Renteria was not.
Cincinnati's up 1-0. 2 batters later, still no outs, and Davies issues his third walk of the inning. That made it 2-0. Bobby Cox's patience thin right now.
If they get hits up, maybe they get hits. When you start walking, guys, that's when Bobby goes nuts.
Pulled after 5 batters. Nice play by Andrew Jones. Takes what would have been a hit away from Javier Valentin. And RBIs, too. Griffey leaving. Boy, the swing that never changes has now hit 587 home runs.
Found the fountain of youth. He looks younger, healthier, moving better.
Moves into 6th place, sole possession of all time, passing the Hall of Famer Frank Robinson, who was at the White House yesterday as well.
Pretty cool.
Neat. Bobby Livingston, a perfect bunt down the third baseline. Safe. Edwin Encarnacion comes around and scores from second. Livingston, the pitcher, 4 for 4 in the game.
Heads-up base running right there.
Wow, Jeff Francoeur jammed. He would argue an Angel Hernandez patience thin. He's gone. Matty Diaz, foul territory. Valentin got it. So Livingston, who's having a game, he helps get out of that jam. And we just showed you Edgar pop out.
Phillips is there. The inning is over. Nice work by Coffey.
Todd Coffey comes on and spells the good start. Livingston, odd that you see a 4 for 4 and say, by the way, that's the pitcher. But that is the case in this game. Griffey's 24th, come with 4 runs batted in.
Wow. Andrew Jones starting to heat up a little bit as well. 400 in the last 6 games.
Not exactly a pitcher's duel. There have been 25 hits. The Braves, this is a Bobby Cox nightmare. They've also made 3 errors. Well, the Reds hammered the Braves, and they're one of those teams that even though they're far out of the race, could fall into that category of thinking they actually might still be in this thing. If not, a lot of teams might be interested in some of the pieces they have offensively. The Reds, who else might teams be asking for their offensive guys?
I think we're going to have some major impact offensive players moving. A lot of people say not, but I'm telling you, I think there's going to be some big guys moving. Let's start again with the Texas Rangers. Mark Teixeira, the big first baseman, hits for average and for power. He's under control for the 2008 season as well. The Atlanta Braves could make a big play. The Braves ranked 29th in batting average at first base with a .210 average and only 34 RBIs. Teixeira would make a major impact in the East. Jermaine Dye, the 2005 World Series MVP, a perfect fit for the Los Angeles Dodgers. They need some thump in the lineup. They need a right-handed presence to go with some of the young bats they have there. Dye would be a perfect fit with his right-handed slugging and his experience. Dimitri Young having a terrific season, hitting over .330, a great fit for the DH spot for the Angels. Now, the Angels never seem to make the big play, but Dye could protect Vladimir Guerrero with his hitting from both sides of the plate. He's been fantastic in a comeback season. Adam Dunn, well, he offers on-base and slugging exactly what the Arizona Diamondbacks need. They're 13th in on-base percentage, 10th in slugging, and they need a presence in the middle of the lineup. Adam Dunn would bring that in a big deal with the Cincinnati Reds. And finally, Jeff Conine. Not a big bat, but you know what? He brings experience. A perfect fit for the Milwaukee Brewers. A young team, young studs, but they need experience. They need support. Conine has a World Series ring. He's been through adversity before. A guy could have a major impact with that Brewer team.
One of the things you keep hearing about from teams is we're not going to give up a player now for somebody who isn't yet ready. You know, and a lot of teams won't give up prospects. If you're not going to give up prospects, how are you going to get any of those guys?
Well, you're going to have to give up some level of prospects. The Mark Teixeira deal is going to be a tougher one because the Rangers are going to want multiple pieces, and teams may not want to give up pieces from their major league team right now. It's going to take the right fit. But John Schuerholz in Atlanta is going to make a big deal here at the deadline, and it could be for Teixeira.
Braves are right back in it. So are so many teams. 8, 9, 10 in the National League, still with a chance. All right, now on ESPN.com, Keith Law says there are 7 teams in the playoff bubble, and that certainly could affect how many are willing to trade or trade for when the deadline shows up 15 days from now. All right, Chicago and Cleveland, 11-7 game. Wow, Victor Martinez has already done serious damage in this game. Comes up just shy, but in doing so, he does drive in a run. Gutierrez scores. It's now 11-8. Crowd on its feet for Travis Hafner. Men on second and third, delivers.
Broke down the swing a little bit out in front, but still poked it through the hole. Didn't have the big shift arm half through there. A lot of times he'll pull it on the ground.
That's why you spend the money. They were able to get out of the inning with the White Sox as Guillen came out and made another pitching change. A lot of hits in games tonight. We just saw one that had 25. This one's at 27 hits. It's 11-10 Chicago. We'll come back, due up on this edition of Baseball Tonight. Well, nearly all those in contention looking for a little help. Where will it come from? And what the president has to say about players today. We will also go yard. Time to touch them all. There have been a lot of hits. Were there a lot of home runs? That's ahead of us as we continue on Baseball Tonight.
Golfbot.com is going to change history.
It's going to be big.
Bigger than the Big Mac.
They say it's going to be bigger than the Big Mac. Yeah, they're geniuses.
I heard it's supposed to be bigger than the Big Mac.
We should get in on that.
Bigger than the Big Mac.
It better be with all this hype.
Come on.
Bigger than a Big Mac. At least, I mean, if not bigger.
All right, there we go.
Ooh. Not quite as big as the Big Mac, huh?
With 100% beef, nothing tops the Big Mac.
For less in a new Impreza. Now $159 a month or $16,991 with 1.9% financing. Indulge your heart and mind, not your bank account, in a new Legacy. Just $249 a month. Come see Lou Jack Subaru now.
Watch your team's out-of-market games live from anywhere. Live Major League Baseball right to your desktop. Go to ESPN.com and search MLB.tv. Sign up today.
Here we go, the Orioles and the Mariners. Ichiro, remember he got hit by that pitch. He's DHing, leading off. Okay. Ichiro's fine. Average to 350 and plenty.
Okay.
Yeah.
He seems to be okay, yeah.
He's running okay.
I think the full test would be if he could steal a base.
There goes Ichiro to third, and the throw to third base. He is safe with third.
The left-handed hitter up there, too. Clear shot for the catcher, still steals the base.
24th of the year, he'd later score a ground out.
Grand slam home run. It was his
Chase is climbing the ladder of guys you don't mind having up with man in scoring position.
No, he's in the top 5 as far as I'm concerned.
League leading 75th run batted in. The Phillies on top of the Dodgers. Penny and Moyer there. Back to the big story. Barry not playing, scratched from the lineup. He said yesterday, though, a day off isn't what he needed. And he took one today. Rich Hill gets Dave Roberts looking with some heat. Tim Lincecum goes for the San Francisco Giants in this one. Aramis Ramirez chased down 97.
Well, you get a little guy, 5'11", that throws that hard. It seems to get there a lot quicker because he's so short.
He's 5'11", but he's wearing pants of a 6'5" guy.
Coy Hill. Steve looking for a slot perhaps on The View as he breaks down fashion. Hill's second home run of the season. Omar Vizquel to short. That's a pretty play by Ryan Terriot.
A riot.
He's back.
Good to have him. Drifted out for about a half hour, but he has returned. Pedro Feliz off Rich Hill. Seats. Game tied at 1. Throw that one back. Feliz is 13th of the year. Here's Hill again on the ground ball. The first diving play by the former shortstop. Really will give you range like that.
He gives you effort, too. He's a professional, comes to play every day.
Slap a Web Gem nominee on that play. Bottom 6, 1-1 first with 2 outs. Lincecum. Inning over. Now to the 7th, looking for another cliche. Steve will deliver shortly. Rich Hill strikes out Rich Aurelia. Bottom 7, man on first and second. Tim Lincecum, please. Patrick Mish, Coy Hill, Omar. Finish it off.
Best hands in the game, Omar Vizquel.
Lincecum is off the hook. Top 8, 1-1, man on second for San Francisco. Guillermo Rodriguez. May have been a little closer than I thought initially. He hadn't even got to third base yet.
He had no charge, but he got himself in an in-between hop, hit the heel of the glove, and kicked right.
Looks like a kid you'd see in Little League.
Yeah.
He really does.
Bottom 8, man on first with 2 outs.
It throws 97.
Oh, it worked. perfectly.
An unbelievable piece of hit. Look at the pitch, middle in, and Derek Lee. When Ray Durham sees the pitch is going to be in, he breaks for the bag thinking there's no way he can hit it past me, and he does. That's unbelievable.
Give the base runner credit for not getting hit by that ball. Aramis Ramirez, did he? No, but he thought he did. In any event, the double's good enough to give those Cubs the lead. Get up there. Cubs 3, Giants 2. Hill goes 8 innings to pick up the win. He allows only 2 earned runs. He Ks 3. Really, the big move in the game was sending the runner, Lou Piniella, being aggressive in the 8th inning with Derek Lee at the plate. And it allows the Cubs to now have won 16 of their last 20. Their best 20-game stretch since 01 when they went 17-3. The other story in this game, Barry said yesterday, I don't need a day off. I mean, this is, I believe, what, game 3 in a row that the ESPN cameras have been there, and he hasn't played. I can't believe there's any connection. That wouldn't be right to the team. There's no way.
Well, you would hope not.
There's no way.
You would hope that he doesn't dislike us that much and he would sit out games. But, you know, him sitting out, his legs are hurting, his ankles are swelled up, whatever the case. It's simple. He's pulling off of everything, and he's trying to hit home runs. He's not letting the pitcher dictate where he hits the ball. He's trying to force it that way, and that's where he's running into problems. You look early in the year what he did off of Scott Proctor right here. There's the pitch right there, pretty much middle away. He drives it to right center field for a home run. Now, in the All-Star game against Josh Beckett, basically the same pitch, middle away, this one a little more up. He flies out to left field. He thought he got it. Now, look at the difference. The setup is exactly the same. But when you see the pitch being delivered, when his foot hits the ground, look on the left here how he's starting to pull off his hip and he's starting to fly out on that shoulder. And on the right, on the right is when he's flying off everything. But yet he still tries to drive the ball the other way. And when you're pulling off like that, he hit the ball in the barrel of the bat on both pitches. One goes out to right field, the other's a fly ball to left field. Why? Because he's pulling off, his bottom half is out, his front shoulder's out. Even though he hits it on the barrel, there's no power in the swing. That's why the ball went to the warning track and he thought he hit it out. Didn't happen. He needs to just stay in a little bit, concentrate on shooting the ball the other way, and the home runs will come because he's so strong.
This is a team that's 38-52 now. Where are they going?
Yeah, they're really not going anywhere. And listen, as much as they'd like to be a competitive team, the reality is this season is all about Barry Bonds. And he'll reach the home run record, and he'll move beyond. But beyond this season, we're seeing the end of an era. This will be the end of the Barry Bonds era with the San Francisco Giants. They're an old team, the 5th oldest team in baseball, 9 position players, 32 years of age or older. Now, there's a reason for it. I mean, when you have Barry Bonds on your team, he is a distraction just because of all the media attention, everything that goes on. And there are a lot of times where he doesn't answer questions. So you can't have a bunch of younger players on the team. You need the veterans around to be able to answer questions, to cope with the environment that exists in San Francisco because of Bonds being there. Look for this organization, though, to tear this down and to start to rebuild. They have good young pitchers. That's kind of the way they've built this organization. They don't necessarily have the younger position players, but a lot of talk right now, Giants focusing on Alex Rodriguez, putting out feelers, doing their due diligence to see if A-Rod may be able to fill that budget slot that Barry Bonds is in right now. But I think we're going to see a team start to be disassembled and rebuilt for the future in San Francisco.
$30+ million a year? They won't go there.
Nobody thought they'd go where they did with Barry Zito. Bonds right now about $20 million in the budget with a lot of older guys making some money. And with young pitchers, you might be able to carve out a budget slot. Plus this, privately financed stadium. They're still paying for that stadium. They need to keep putting fans in the seats.
All right, folks, a little after 10:30 in the East. We'll keep going all the way to 11 o'clock. And Sports Center, let's get some more updates here. The Orioles and the Mariners, Ichiro got a hit and then stole second. He gave Seattle a 1-0 lead. Now, Moyer, the Moyer lookalike. It's gone. Horacio Ramirez gives that one up, and it's Hernandez who hits it out, so it's 1-1. Watch this play, by the way. Horacio! The shoe fell off.
They were spikes. What a double knock those.
And later, I got to believe, Center 30 at 30 update.
Scott Reese with a Sports Center 30 at 30 update. David Beckham is supposed to make his LA Galaxy debut in an exhibition Saturday against Chelsea, but he is now listed as day-to-day with a lingering ankle injury, limited to some stretching and kicking drills in his first practice today. And the NBA Players Association is considering an appeal of the 7-game suspensions given to Ron Artest and Steven Jackson for legal issues. Details on Sports Center 11 Eastern, and stay current with ESPN News.
Hi, Scott. Thank you very much. Jays and the Yankees as Victoria Beckham shops for a house in one of the most ridiculous television shows of all time. That was on this evening. Seriously. All right, let's get to the ball game. That's what people are watching this show for. May 30th at the Sky Dome. Remember, A-Rod yelled in the ear of Howie Clark as he ran by the would-be fielder. Howie got a little upset about it. Larry Boa stepped in. This is the first meeting between these two teams since then. A-Rod grounds one to Gloss, and he starts and ends the double play.
A lot of thought there was going to be retaliation on Alex Rodriguez, but double play worked fine.
Kei Igawa loaded in the second inning. He gets the very dangerous Alex Rios to fly out to right, and he gets out of the jam. There were some interesting looks in this game towards A-Rod, though. Hideki Matsui, who just left the building.
And Matsui had a great base running play yesterday, tagging up from first base, getting in scoring position, and getting the Yanks on the board early today.
That was a good catch out there by a fan. Fan would get this one too, but it's a foul ball. And later, Jorge would ground out. But not Kanui. Robinson Cano, 7th of the year. Pinstripers got a 2-0 lead in front of a huge crowd on a Monday night in the Bronx. Troy Gloss. I think Kei Igawa knew that wasn't coming back.
Remember, next year, the All-Star game in New York, home run derby, going to be a lot of shots out to right field, huh?
Gloss is 13th of the year, tied at 2. Put a little water behind there. No one will hit him. Bobby Abreu to first. Abreu safe. That's a big play.
Gotta be a river around there somewhere.
Oh, there's a river there. Abreu's hustle allows A-Rod to come up. Otherwise, the inning's over. And now that at-bat is over with A-Rod moving towards 500 home runs. What a season. There's the look. Respect, love, animosity.
That's why I don't make the All-Star team is what he's looking at.
Yeah. Well, he does A-Rod one better, at least tonight. His second of the game, and the lead is 4-3. Pitch him and ditch him. Scott Proctor gives up Rios his 19th of the year. Crucky, this one's tied at 4 apiece. Lo and behold, look at Andy Phillips.
There's a couple Phillips we saw today that could hit.
Yep, I can talk about him.
Brandon?
Andy? We have Steve on the show.
Silver, not so much.
The Yankees beat the Blue Jays 6-4, so they'll stay 9 behind the Red Sox, who are also victorious. Cano and Matsui each go 2 for 4. So does Jeets with a double. 4 games underway out west. Michael Barrett takes the Sosa offering. You never know where the Padres are going to get offense from.
Jorge Sosa just off the DL, making his first start back and hanging sliders up in the zone to start.
Padres got a 2-0 lead. Will return on the full night of baseball. There was some filth thrown up there. Just flat-out ugly pitches. Bats Nasty is coming up on Baseball Tonight. Also, you never know what you're going to see. I imagine the UNESCO Betancourt play will show up, but I've been wrong before. Wrong before. Web, yeah.
Introducing Accelerate with protein. Proven to increase endurance up to 29% over your old sports drink. So while others fade, you can stay strong. Don't fade. Accelerate.
We know what men like. Mitchum Smart Solid. Powerful protection, unbeatable against white residue. Wow, let's see that again. For powerful all-day protection that doesn't come off on your shirt, be a smart Mitchum man.
Looks busy at that Goodyear retailer.
Retailer? That word's a little impersonal, isn't it?
How about purveyor of innovative tire technology?
I like that.
Come into the Goodyear Freedom to Get There tire event now for innovative tire technology and get up to a $50 cash card by mail-in offer with the purchase of a set of 4 select Goodyear tires. Or double your cash card up to $100 when you make your purchase on your Goodyear credit card. Innovative thinking up here so you can get there. Goodyear, get there.
Want a big eat for a tiny price? That's huge. Tackle your hunger with the Pizza Hut Pizzone. Over 1 pound of cheese and toppings for just $5.99 or 2 for $10.99. Get way more. Get America's favorite pizza, Pizza Hut, now online.
What will you do with your energy today? Will you simply expend it? Or will you use it to make a difference? Invest it in ways that will help generations to come. The people of Citgo have invested our energy in ways that may surprise you. For generations, we've been using our energy to do good in communities across the U.S. Citgo, there at every turn.
Back here on Baseball Tonight, the Rockies and the Pirates, the wildest game of the night. Unless, of course, the Indians-White Sox game changes score one more time. Highlights of this one show a little pain.
Pretty good start.
Van Scoten hit Willie Tavares. Tavares then takes it out. Yeah, that's what you do. You just steal. You get out there and run after you get hit. And then hope that somebody like Matt Holliday can deliver you in.
He can do that for sure. One of the best breaking ball hitters in the game.
1-0 now in the first. One out. Rockies up for Troy Tulowitzki. The other way. Count that. Holy. Rockies go up 4-zip. Helton and Atkins plate. Top three, 7-1. All right. Van Scoten's out. Now, Tony Armas, the new pitcher, and Taylor Buchholz lines a base hit to left, so the pitcher plates the tool, and the Rockies are up 8-1. Bottom three, 9-2. Jason Bay, Garrett Atkins, eat that. Adam LaRoche scores. It's 9-3, and Pirate pride on full display.
Here we come.
Joe Hop.
Second and third, Adam LaRoche. Third base, Garrett Atkins. Look at Tulowitzki. Get out, get out, get out. I got it. Oh, my goodness. Height there. Oh. Oh, he was out. Come on.
Torrey. Come on, Torrey. Oh, he got under. That foot got in.
That's a great play by Tulowitzki. It's his ball, and he threw a seed.
Now 9-7. McLouth lays down a sack bunt. Wilson's in. It's a 9-8 game. The fans are buzzing. Flying around the stadium. Jason Bay. 5-3 double play. Threat is over, and the fans sit.
A tough year for Jason Bay.
10-8, 2 out. LaTroy Hawkins. McLouth to first. Helton. Oh, my goodness. Hawkins is wiped out. McLouth safe. Let's see. Oh, the foot hit the bag first. Should have been out.
Oof. Someone's going to get hurt right there.
Hawkins landed on McLouth, but again, safe. Oh, the knee buckler from Jorge Julio. Wow. Wild one. Rockies hang on and win by a score of 10-8. Rare, but look at the scoreboard. There's not a home run there, with 18 runs being scored. They're not at Coors, they're at Pittsburgh. We've seen home runs leave that building, too. Van Scoten, not good. 2 innings, 9 earned runs. He's 0-4. Sox and the Tribe. Call this W2, Wild Game 2. 11-10, 9th inning, Barfield.
And the game is over.
Look at AJ. Resignation, this thing finally ended.
Looking in the Indians' dugout right there, too.
He's also looking at his own club. They had a big lead in the bullpen. Coughed it up. Gutierrez had 4 hits, went 4 for 5 in his 5th home run. Paul Konerko hit 1/2 mile. It's the White Sox who beat the Indians by a run, 11-10. A little update on the Phillies and Dodgers. This game has featured some special plays. 2 outs, Nomar. Fair ball down the line.
Boy, extra base hit's been tough to come by for Nomar Garciaparra.
Got away from Burl. Kent comes in to score. Aaron Rowan made a web gem in this game. One of the better defensive plays we've seen in a long time. Strohs of the Nationals. Web gem's going to be tough tonight. There are a lot to choose from. Bruntlett into right. Austin Kearns is there, and we have a double play because Morgan Ensberg was moving.
He's going to score.
He would have. He probably kept going. Loretta into right. Kearns. Oh, did he? Now we got problems. Berkman stuck on second. Now he's out at third.
Some confusion out there.
Almost looked like he caught it. Felipe Lopez. DeMeat hook. Nope. Inning could have been over. You don't want to say should have. Could have. Next batter's Bruntlett. DeMeat hook. In stride.
Athleticism.
Gifted. In stride.
Gifted.
Hunter Pence hitting 330. Lopez.
Oh, boy.
See, that's the speed of Pence. He'll go to second.
He laid back on that one a little bit.
That's in the umps of the meat hook.
Lance Berkman singles into right. Pence gets to third. Rock, paper, or scissors? What are getting under those feet? Lee into right field. Hintz would score.
Let's not have caught that one off the bat well.
Little rangefinder right there.
Tied at 1. Bottom 6, Nats got men on first.
Oh,
but he can do that.
You make fun, Steve. You make fun, and the meat hook will make it bang.
He giveth and he taketh back.
Young's 9th of the year. El Cubayo. Woo! Wow. 17th of the year.
Oh, my
Huge
God.
shot. Astros down 4-3. If you got a ticket to a game tonight, you saw some fun stuff. Biggio did not think that was a strike.
I don't think Chad Cordero really thought it was a strike either. He looked like he was ready to load up for the next one.
He got his 16th save of the year. You don't want to hide the term load up. Pitchers.
I meant that in the best sense of the word.
Nationals 4, Astros 3. As the Nats go to 38-54, and Houston stays a game ahead of them in the race for worst. Meantime, yesterday, T-ball on the South Lawn. A lot of these kids born in 2001, of course, September 11th, 2001. I had a chance to ask the president how their lives have changed, how the game has changed. He had many opinions. So tell me, one of the great things I ever saw was post 9/11, you at Yankee Stadium. What does that memory mean to you?
Well, you know, I've given a lot of speeches in front of big crowds or a lot of TV cameras there, but nothing was like walking out on the mound.
Nothing.
The energy level was huge. My adrenaline was just pumping, and the catcher looked about that big.
Right.
It seemed like I was throwing from center field, but it was a fantastic moment.
Are you nervous?
Kind of. I'm sure you've heard the story about it. I was warming up under the stadium, Yankee Stadium, and Derek Jeter said, "Are you going to throw it from the mound?" I said, "What do you think?" He said, "Go ahead and do it, you know. Be a man, throw it from the mound." Then he turns around and says, "But don't bounce it, they'll boo you." So I was thinking about it. Yeah, I was nervous.
No office is looked at historically like the White House. Baseball is steeped in history.
It is.
How do you think baseball the last 15 years are going to be judged?
You know, I think it's too early to tell. I know there's a lot of speculation about asterisk this or do that. I hope the Mitchell investigation will be able to put more truth to, you know, a lot of the speculation. You know, I know Donald Fear is obviously working to protect players' rights, but and Bud is working to make sure baseball is and their labor group works together. But it's going to be very good for baseball when any doubt is removed.
With regards to what he would do if he were commissioner and Barry Bonds was about to break the home run record, he just said he hadn't given it much thought. He's got more on his plate than watching or thinking about what Barry Bonds is doing. He also said with regards to getting back into baseball, owner, commissioner, that ship perhaps, he says, sailed before he became governor in Texas. Interesting and fascinating day with the President, George Bush. What are you shaking your head about?
The amazing thing about that is you signed an autograph for him.
He asked for it. He likes the show. He likes most of the people that are on the show.
Thanks, Carl.
He's a big fan, Steve.
Gray-haired one.
That's nasty. Good night, Mr. President. We appreciate you watching. The Web Gems are coming up here on Baseball Tonight. Tough to choose.
Everyone had advice about my future. I could do more with my professor's salary. Then I met Tony. She was speaking at a Wachovia financial seminar. I really heard her speak to me. That's when I did something. Now I have a retirement plan and a home to grow in.
At Wachovia, we're absolutely obsessed with satisfying our customers.
It actually changed my life. I'm with Wachovia.
Maybe the sun will shine today.
When you get into a Volkswagen,
The clouds will blow away.
it gets into you.
Right now, during the Get Into a Volkswagen Summer Drive, get 0% APR on select 2007 models.
Having trouble getting to work after a car accident? One call to Farmers Help Point could fix that. Farmers Help Point. Sanity makes a comeback.
Our computer is all business. We
We shoot these videos for clients. Search the internet for cool designs. Organize a ton of paperwork. And my sons, they've downloaded like 1 million songs. We've got every crazy idea we've ever thought of. And some have turned into really great rides.
HP XW8400 workstation with quad-core Intel Xeon processor.
Next on SportsCenter, another reason why the Patriots could rule the AFC East. Who's more now, Shaq or a 7-time gold medalist and world champ? And
Chris Young, Corey Hart, second time in 07, the leadoff batter, homer in the top and bottom of the first. The other, you'll remember, was Craig Biggio and J-Roll in the Astro-Philly game. Ryan Braun talked about the outfield.
He likes to admire his work, doesn't he?
Watch that one go.
What? Every home run goes left center field right there, too.
Troy Gloss will be seen in a moment. First, Miguel Cabrera. Homered in 3 straight games for the first time since 2005.
Line-to-line power, Crucky.
Alex Rios will be seen in a moment. I'm just teasing the next guy.
Got to get out in front of it, Carl.
Troy Gloss's 3rd career multi-home run game against the Yanks. 25th of his career. The others were in 0-0 and 06.
Line-to-line power for Gloss, too.
You'll see Manny Ramirez in a moment. Alex Rodriguez, first home run in 27 games at Yankee Stadium. Oh, Yankees win. Here's Manny, 483rd of his career. I think he got most of it. That's lights, hour, power, people. David Ortiz. I believe that's the 46th time that Ortiz and Ramirez have homered in the same game. That's 3rd most among active teammates.
Good information.
Look at the MVP.
Pretty Klaus not a big fan, huh?
No retaliation, just dirty looks.
Apparently not. Ken Griffey Jr. Still waiting on the old ring-a-dinger. 587, 6 all-time, passing Frank Robinson. Most home runs all-time, there he is. Just behind Sammy Sosa, the great Willie Mays at 660, the great Babe Ruth, the great Barry Bonds, and the greatest Hank Aaron at 755. I think this is the part of the show that people have been waiting for, dying for that Uneski Betancourt play. But then again, there is a show at midnight. Rich Aurelia, number 5.
Nice play. Good feed, too, from the seat of his pants, hitting the pitcher. Lincecum on the run to first.
Number 4. Let's see what Alex Gordon has in store.
A good first base plays tonight, Crocky. That's a third baseman playing first base, though.
Number 3, the web gem, Javier Valentin to shallow center, Andrew Jones.
Like he had a beat on it the entire way.
Number 2, the Indians. This is Josh Pride. This is a great one. Oh. Because Jerry Owens can move. Rocky, that's a charge and a
That's an unbelievable play, Carl. The way he caught that ball didn't take a lot of time to get from his hand to the glove of Garco.
And the dust ball. Number 1, Dustin Pedroia. Bases loaded. Tony Pena. The chopper, he can move. Look, so we just favored heavy right side of the infield and Andrew Jones.
For the best base runner play.
I love the job they did back there saying, you know what, we're going to save the Betancourt play until midnight. That will increase.
Web Gems is brought to you by Fathead.com, official licensee of Major League Baseball. Fathead.com. Are you fan enough?
All right, we'll use that fat head as a jumping off point. The Mets and the Padres. David Wells. Get over there. He's trying to raise Jose Reyes.
That's a mismatch.
You know, I thought Wells had him there for a second.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the boom diggity get over there.
Jose Reyes was drafting on him a little bit here and just went right by him at the end.
It showed.
What do you think David Wells is saying to himself right here? I got no chance.
Yeah.
Maybe on the tag, though.
There goes Reyes. Hold up the drive to third. Cruising off.
But Boomer gets out of it with just a 2 spot. That's pretty. He ends up at second base. Now he's hooked up to oxygen. That's nasty. Tim Lincecum.
Oh, man.
The breaking ball's coming.
Yeah, tight.
The hitter only could see that before the pitch came to the plate.
Yeah, that would be cheating, Steve. Rich Hill had no chance on that one.
That'll help you.
I couldn't hit that. Are you kidding?
Whoa, man. Prince got popped.
I've done that. Well, it seems like it goes between your legs after you swing. You miss it so bad. Ooh. Billy boy.
A lot of good breaking balls tonight.
That was Buck Holtz. This is Byung-Young Kim.
And Albert Pujols.
Chief J. Turnbow. Derek going to go nasty twice. Former closer gets Chad.
Get swings like that when you can throw in the high 90s, Carl, on that breaking ball.
Looking for Kaysen Gabbard.
Big sweeper.
The old 12-6 worked. He had 8 Ks in his complete game shutout. I believe we've done everything we can in 90 minutes. We're going to do it again at midnight, and the Baseball Tonight Extra is on SportsCenter.
Drill deep to left field. See ya!
This is SportsCenter.
I'm embarrassed to have this uniform on the way I'm performing. Now get out of here.
After a Sunday blowout, Barry Bonds blows into the Windy City and angers some teammates. Turns out another wild affair for the red-hot Cubs. Looking to take back the AFC, who the Patriots will not be relying on to make a run at Super Sunday.
Greg Oden, I'll see you real soon, brother.
But before he bangs the boards with the #1 pick, Shaq has a battle on his hands tonight on SportsCenter.
This ball hammered into deep right field. Number 587 for Ken Griffey Jr.
It's an embarrassment to me wearing this uniform because of the way I'm playing there. That's it.